San Antonio's Sports Center.
The Dallas Cowboys have been denied permission by to the Chicago Bears to interview head coach Mike McCarthy. McCarthy's contract is set to expire next Wednesday. Well, as wildfires continue to devastate several areas across Los Angeles, NFL says it is monitoring the situation's potential impact on Monday night's wild card playoff game between the Vikings and the Rams at SoFi Stadium.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Guess what day it is?
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Mike. What day is it, Mike? Hump day.
Hump day!
Hump day.
Hump day!
Hump day.
Hump day!
Hump day.
Hump day! Here we go!
Hump day.
Yeah, I'm out of practice.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He is, well, it's a Wednesday. Toe Reinagel.
Wait,
I love that camel.
I'm Jason Minix. Glad to have you along here on a Wednesday. And look, we're always, let's go behind the curtain and tell you what's going on here. So we're getting ready for the show. We all know it's Wednesday, but we don't. And before the show starts, Gilbert on YouTube writes in Hump Day. And Joe's like, oh, yeah. Are we still doing that? Well, I mean, for the last couple of weeks, it was a holiday on Hump Day. We haven't been here, so Reinagel is a little out of practice, but Joe said, are we still doing that? I said, well, it's your thing.
Well, so I said maybe we'll take it to the people.
Take it to the people.
Take it to the people. If Ryan's listening, he could put up a poll. Do we still want the Hump Day?
Guess what day it is?
And I'll be
you
honest
want
with
a poll 2 minutes in.
Well, of course I do. Why not? When you don't hump for a while, you lose your hump.
Yeah, you're out of rhythm.
Your hump is out of rhythm.
Your rhythm is gone.
It's gone.
Your rhythm's been gone for 50 years.
Well, I'm not as good as I once was, but I got one good hump in there.
Well, one. That's all it takes.
That's all that matters.
Maybe 2.
Well, maybe.
But in reality, I mean, you did 4. You got greedy pretty early on. So there is a poll up. Should Joe still continue Hump Day?
Yeah, you got to let me know. We're taking it to the people.
I'm going to put yes.
Oh,
I took a poll.
All right, Ryan and his poll.
Yes. 5:15 today, we're going to talk with County Commissioner Tommy Calvert, talking about taking it to the people. The arena vote, Project Marvel, like we all thought when they Spurs announced all these grand plans at City Council that everything was in order, and all right, man, we're ready to take this to a vote. Take it to the people. And Judge Sakai said yesterday after Commissioner's Court, I don't have enough information to right now put it on a ballot. Tommy Calvert had some interesting things to say in the paper. Tommy Calvert will join us. He just texted at 5:15 this afternoon. So we'll talk with Commissioner Calvert about what is going on, what we know, what we don't know at 5:15 today. And just to fast forward, we tried to get the county judge on today. He's busy. He's going to come on tomorrow at 2:35.
Yeah. Excited to talk to both of those guys because I learned some things. Just flat out learned some things about this. And if you weren't with us yesterday, there was a great article in the San Antonio Express News talking about getting the Spurs Arena on the ballot in May. And quite frankly, Judge Sakai said, look, I don't know enough about it to suggest or support getting that on the ballot this soon. And it kind of surprised both you and I, to be honest with you. But we've since learned that there's just not enough info out there yet to make an intelligent decision if you are the county judge.
The reality is for myself, I'll speak for Joe, we work in the toy department. We're in the sports world.
Yeah.
right? And very rarely do we get into any politics unless it concerns sports, like gambling, or this arena situation. And if you and I are having these questions, and with, different people that we get to talk to and hear stuff about, I would imagine that a lot of people listening right now have some of those same questions. I don't have the answer. Joe doesn't have the answer, but we can get to the people that do have the answer. So that's what we're going to do. Today at 5:15 with Tommy Calvert. Tomorrow, 2:35, County Judge Peter Sakai will join us here on the Blitz to learn more, because you're right. There are going to be people that are against any kind of tax dollar for a arena. Now, we know Project Marvel has a lot of things, including an arena, but there are people out there, I call them cave people, civilians against virtually everything, that are always just going to say no. But some want to get more information before they say yes. And I'm with that. I don't just blindly say, all right, do it. Here, take the money. And so we're going to get informed all together.
Well, and it's a good thing. And look, I don't blame them, anybody for just wanting a little more information. And I think we should. And I think it's not knowing what happened. I'm not going to say what I was about to say, but I think it's somebody at the Spurs organization has dropped the ball. And why would you not get the commissioners everything that they need so they would come behind this thing 100% and say, yes, we're on board. This sounds like a great plan. This is what it's going to cost. This is what we need. This is what we're going to put in, yada, 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 and all of that stuff, and get everybody on board. Why would you want to be secretive about this if that's indeed what's happening?
And again, drop the ball, or was it intent? I don't know, because the other part of it is this is going to be more of a city-owned thing, so do you have to include the county people? But apparently you do, because that county venue tax is a big source of the funding, according to what was in the Express News. So we're all going to learn a little bit more about what's going on with Tommy Calvert later today at 5:15, and tomorrow Judge Peter Sakai is going to join us here on the Blitz.
Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. So much else going on, and I want to start with something that I completely missed out on, and I feel like I've got FOMO because I hear you talking about it and Pledge talking about it and other people talking about this TGL thing yesterday. I get home last night knowing every intent of tuning in and watching that, and I started watching Lioness. We finished season 1 of Lioness, which is fantastic. Didn't look at my phone, so I didn't get sucked in like, oh, yeah, that's on. Let's go watch that for a while. But you were telling me this is every Tuesday. I thought this was like a one-off thing.
Every Tuesday.
Wow.
It's going to be every Tuesday. There are teams. Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy put this together. So it's their baby. And I'll be totally honest, I forgot about it too, and I just happened to pull up Twitter, and RJ Ochoa and Pledge were talking about how great this is, and I went, whoa, I forgot about it. So I tuned it in about the 6th hole, I guess, and watched the rest of it from there. And I got to tell you what, it's a blast. These guys are having fun. They're joking around with the crowd. Joking around with each other, and it's just I got sucked in. I mean, that's a good word for it. I got sucked in, and it was fantastic. I can't wait for next Tuesday.
And so now it's every Tuesday night.
Every Tuesday night.
Anybody
yes.
wearing a white belt?
I didn't notice that.
A Pledge says yes.
Yeah, I'm sure there was.
Pledge is our fashionista, so yes, it's a yes.
Look, of course they were. I mean, if you're a good golfer, which I am, you wear a white belt.
You didn't even notice if they were wearing a white belt.
Well, I didn't have to notice. They were
what
wearing
do you mean
a white
you didn't
belt.
have to notice? It just shows that you don't pay attention.
You just assume that they're wearing a white belt.
You don't assume anything.
Who is it?
Did we not just talk about why you assumed the Spurs did a lot of things with the county people and they did not? You just learned you don't assume anything.
Well, you don't. There's a thing for that, right?
Yes.
Oberg had a hell of a nice hoodie on. Right? Did you see that? That looked like Pledge. So they were wearing their stuff. They still had the advertisements on the shirts and all that stuff. But I'd never seen a hoodie like this dude had. And this guy's a star in the making, obviously. Played at Texas Tech. But that hoodie, I want one.
Is he the dude that broke his club head out at the Valero Texas Open last year?
No, I don't think so.
You sure? Texas Tech stud?
Maybe it might have been.
Yeah.
It might have been. This guy's a Texas Tech stud for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the other part of that is all the promotion for it. I thought they had this thing set up as a one-time deal at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. Apparently they didn't. There's another place in Florida called SoFi.
Yes, there is.
Which is good because SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles hosting the Monday night playoff game, or maybe those wildfires in California in the Palisades, it's no joke. I mean, you see some of the video of the aftermath where the fire has already been, and anybody that has been in any kind of war zone, that's what it looks like. That truly is what it looks like. And it's scary because, you know, you and I have been in a lot of those places that are either gone or are certainly threatened right now.
Nobu.
Down to PCH, including Nobu, where Jerry Jones throws that great party every year for us. But you think about those homes. You know, I've got a cousin who now lives more kind of in the Grove area, and he said, we're 10 to 12 miles away. We're getting a lot of smoke, but I think we're safe. They haven't been told to evacuate yet. Our good friend Eric Messersmith and his wife Christina Coleman in Santa Monica, same thing, texting with Eric last night. You could see the flames, you could see the smoke, but it's far enough away and enough concrete to where they haven't been told to evacuate. But, man, that part of California is just so beautiful. And the number of times through the years when we're at Cowboys camp that we've taken that drive, and to see that drive and so much on fire, it is just heartbreaking. But the air quality in Los Angeles, because SoFi Stadium, while it's got a roof, it doesn't have sides. It's an open-air stadium. They're worried about the air quality and can they actually play the game.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. The NFL is monitoring that because that game is Monday night. So depending on what happens, watching the coverage this morning, and I was flipping around to all the national, the Fox, the CNN, MSNBC, all of them. And, of course, they're all covering this thing, you know, wall to wall. But it's the wind. I mean, it's like almost hurricane-force winds blowing that is spreading those embers, and the firefighters can't get ahead of it. And that's the problem right now. And you're watching these. I heard a list of celebrity homes that have just gone up in flames, including Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
At one of his houses there in Malibu, or Palisades.
Pacific Palisades.
Yeah,
I saw, hadn't thought about Heather Thomas in many, many years, but she tweeted out last night, got to go.
That too, and then what do you do? I mean, you got to get out of it. Yeah, and you don't have much time either.
You don't, and you take what you need and go. And that's the scary part. Like, man, to decide, all right, and then not know. You don't know what you're coming back to. It's, man, those fires are brutal, and the winds there in L.A. apparently are just incredible.
Yeah, it's very sad to see what's happening out there because that is a beautiful area. It really is, just a gorgeous area. Even Pepperdine University is threatened to some extent out there with some of these wildfires.
Every time we drive past Pepperdine, you think about, could you actually go to school here? I mean, it's one thing when Texas State the other day bragged about their C average with the football team, and, you know, you Southwest Texas State alums were like, dude, have you been to a school in San Marcos? C's good because of all the Imagine Pepperdine. You know, out the back door, you got the beach, and out the front door, you got the mountains. I wouldn't get a damn thing done.
Not a damn thing
if I were a
done.
student at Pepperdine.
No doubt. But they're smart enough not to release their grade point average.
Well, sure. And quite frankly, I mean, all the kids there have rich parents, and so if you're willing to spend $70,000 for a C, they'll give it to you.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Exactly.
Well, at Texas State, we didn't have to pay for C's.
Oh, well, I mean, you still pay $20,000 for your C.
I was really very happy to get a C.
Yes.
In a lot of things. It was a great average for me.
Do I move on? Do I pass? That's all that matters.
That's all I need to know. Do I have to take this class again?
Yeah, clearly in this business, they didn't say, all right, Joe, do you have a degree, and what was your GPA?
Thank God.
In this business, they don't even care if you have a degree.
That's true. Exactly right. Although a lot of people do, and I guess it makes a difference to somebody. But the bottom line is,
most people with journalism degrees are doing something else.
Can you do the job, right? I mean, that's the main thing.
That's it. Can Mike McCarthy do the job? And can he continue to do the job? It is 2:15. Mike McCarthy Watch continues. We'll have the latest coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You know, injuries happen, and when they do, you can skip the ER and get straight to an Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, strains, conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday. They have on-site x-ray casting and bracing. Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, but best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. So if you're injured, get to an Ortho Now Injury Clinic. Learn more online at tsaog.com. That's tsaog.com.
South Texas College Football Headquarters is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
And the most wonderful time of the year for fans. Bowl season is no exception. The biggest and best matchups this bowl season are brought to you by Ewald Kubota, the Break Room Bar, and Smoky Mo's Barbecue. Hear them all on South Texas' first and only FM sports station, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
My name is Luke Bryan. Country music is my life, and I want to share it with y'all.
It's All Country is now streaming on Hulu.
And with the help of Luke Combs, Kane Brown, Lady A, Winona Judd, Sheryl Crow, and Mickey Guyton, we're going to explore everything country.
You couldn't ask for anything more than that.
When everybody brings their story, it really becomes something special.
That is the beautiful side of country music.
In the end, it's all country.
It's All Country. All episodes now streaming on Hulu.
George Gets Justice. When you've been injured, you need to get George Salinas Injury Lawyers because you need someone who understands your pain and the impact an accident has on your life. You need someone who listens and is always there fighting for you and your future. When you get George Salinas Injury Lawyers, you get all this and more. If you've been injured, it's time to get George. And remember, you won't pay anything unless they win your case. Call George Salinas at 210-225-0909. George Gets Justice. GetGeorge.com.
America's best high school football players are coming to San Antonio. It's the Navy All-American Bowl at the Alamo Dome on Saturday, January 11th. C.J. Stroud, Christian McCaffrey, and Micah Parsons played here. Join us for a day of exciting football to see the stars of tomorrow at the Navy All-American Bowl, followed by the San Antonio Sports All-Star Football Game, presented by Valero. Fan Zone opens at 9:30 a.m. Tickets on sale at the Dome box office and Ticketmaster.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings.
See the best of the best. The area's top high school senior players in the San Antonio Sports All-Star Football Game, presented by Valero. 118 All-Stars from 68 high schools will compete in the annual Alamo Dome Showdown. Saturday, January 11th, following the National Navy All-American Bowl. One ticket gets you both games, just $15, available at Ticketmaster. The San Antonio Sports All-Star Football Game presented by Valero. January 11th at 5 p.m. at the Alamo Dome.
Find your purpose. Find your why. At the Y, you'll find more than just a place to work out. With opportunities to connect with neighbors and give back to your community, you'll also discover a greater sense of purpose. Join the Y January 6th through the 11th for Wellness Week at any Greater San Antonio YMCA location. Learn more at ymcasatx.org.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is The Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Maybe you're watching on YouTube. You can always subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Friday, want to invite you to come hang out with us out at Pop Stroke over there by UTSA on I-10 near 1604 Pop Stroke. A special flight Friday. We'll be out there with our friends from Yuengling. They'll have a lot of great Yuengling prizes to give away and also get you ready for the Cotton Bowl, Texas and Ohio State.
What I love about that is they'll already know, if they win that game, who they're going to play in the championship round. Because Thursday night, obviously, we have Penn State and Notre Dame.
Fantastic.
Awesome, right? You think
what?
I don't know what to think about Penn State. I want to like Penn State a lot.
What's there not to think about Penn State? They're a damn good football team.
Well, they are, and I want them to be, and I want them to be really good on Thursday night.
It's because you hate Notre Dame.
I just despise Notre Dame.
You know, I think about that Penn State team. Here's the problem. You look at Penn State, James Franklin, I think he's a great coach, except in big games. You know, I think about, Drew Aller, their quarterback, played in the All-American Bowl here in San Antonio a couple years ago. I remember talking to him before the game, and he was one of those just confident dudes with what he could do, but not cocky. In some ways, some of those kids you meet and you go, and then others like, man, I want to root for you, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And he was one of those like, this kid gets it. So I kind of want to see him have success, but James Franklin in big games, what has he done? You can almost say the same thing about Ryan Day.
Although he's come up big in the last 2 games.
In the last 2 games, but, I need the – I'm a Longhorn fan. I need the team that showed up against Michigan to show up at the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's going to be interesting. That game has the makings of being a really, really good one. Both of them do, actually. But, I mean, that Texas-Ohio State are like 2 big marquee names. And
so is Penn State and Notre Dame. You know that?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, the Final Four is all marquee names with passionate fan bases and fan bases or programs that people hate. I think there's not a I don't give a damn program in the Final Four. You either like them or you hate them.
Yeah,
right.
Well, that's true. Although I don't give a damn one way or the other about Penn State, to be honest with you. Of all the 4, Penn State's just kind of meh, whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, you're a South Texas guy. You travel up anywhere in the Midwest or the East Coast, and that hate for Penn State, if you're not a Penn Stater, is...
Well, if you're in Pennsylvania.
Well, no, they're much more than just a regional brand. They are.
Well, when you got Michigan and Ohio State, and who else do you have? Wisconsin? I mean, there's a lot of Midwest teams to choose from.
There are.
Although Penn State is not exactly Midwest.
Nowhere near the Midwest. But that C average from Texas State is showing through. Geography wasn't one of your classes.
Damn, I didn't take geography. That wasn't a C, I guess. What the hell else is by Pennsylvania, for goodness sake?
I don't know. New York, New Jersey, East Coast. Big Ten country.
The East Coast?
Yes.
Penn State's just kind of nah. I mean, who the hell's rooting for Penn State Thursday night? Anybody?
Michael Parsons?
Yeah, I mean,
who gives a damn? He didn't even play there.
Well, he did.
Maybe a game or 2.
Or 6, but whatever. I mean, I'm with you. He went there.
He went there.
Saquon Barkley.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, there's a lot of Penn State guys in Sean Lee. There are a lot of Penn State guys. No?
Awesome.
No?
No.
Remember there was this guy named Joe Paterno?
I remember that.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember Joe Pa.
Now, we won't mention that other guy. And you think about a program that recovered from something you didn't think they could recover from?
Woo.
Yeah.
Well,
who had that on their bingo card on a discussion topic today?
Yeah, who was that guy? You remember his name?
Sandusky?
Sandusky.
Yeah.
Wow, what a creeper. Dude. Is that dude still in jail, I'm assuming, right? Or did he die?
I mean, it's a great question.
I don't know the answer to that.
Is he alive or dead? If he's not, he will soon be.
Well, I'm assuming if he was in prison for any amount of time, he kind of got the same treatment he dished out.
80 years old.
Okay, he's still alive.
Is he?
80 years old.
Wow. Learn something new every day, kids.
We're big. Our show's big in prison. I wonder if Sandusky listens.
No. And we haven't heard from that guy.
We haven't. I hope he's all right.
In a while.
Yeah.
Solitaire. Maybe he lost his Twitter privileges. I don't know.
Could be.
I don't think he was getting out anytime soon.
Well, I don't think so. But yeah, maybe he lost his radio.
You probably pissed him off.
I'm sure I did. That's what's my job.
Yeah.
To piss people off.
Jerry Jones's job is to stir the pot, and he continues to stir the pot. Now, I will say it wouldn't put it past me for Jerry Jones to say, all right, well, the Cowboys are out of the playoffs, but all day Monday, all day Tuesday, all day Wednesday, you can't turn on any national show without hearing them talk about the Dallas Cowboys. And Jerry likes it that way. It doesn't matter if you're talking good or bad about the Dallas Cowboys as long as you're talking about the Dallas Cowboys. You know, on the TV, if they put a picture up, there's a star, there's Jerry. He doesn't give a damn. You're talking about the Dallas Cowboys. So this let's string on Mike McCarthy, that's by design. What is Jerry actually doing? We don't know. So we know the Bears reached out and requested permission to talk to Mike McCarthy. They wanted to interview him. Now, on Sunday, when it was brought up that there could be teams interested, Jerry Jones said,
I would say go talk. I really would. Go talk.
So it sounds like you
I just let Zeke do that.
Gotcha.
I don't want anybody here. That's not healthy to have somebody around that wants to be someplace else. Really, it's not. And there's too many ways for everybody to go to be around where you don't want to be.
Okay, so if somebody's interested, go talk. But he denied the Bears their request to interview Mike McCarthy.
You know, I think Jerry is a smart guy.
He is.
Number one, I think you hit the nail on the head. He likes when people's talking about him. Good, bad, or indifferent. I'll be honest with you, right now it's not good. People are criticizing the Cowboys and how they're handling the whole Mike McCarthy situation right now. But you brought up something before the show that what if this is all a staged act?
Yep.
That Mike McCarthy already has his contract, or they've already agreed to it, and it's just play along, Mike. And then come Sunday when Sunday when the Eagles are playing the Packers, I'm going to announce it right then before that game starts, and nobody's going to give a damn about Philly and Green Bay.
It's interesting because I heard today on ESPN radio. Now, I haven't seen this, so I'm not sure where they got this. But apparently, according to what I heard today, the contract for Mike McCarthy actually ends today, but Jerry has an exclusive interview window through the 14th. All the other reports say he's under contract until the 14th. And quite honestly, I don't guess there's a difference other than his pay stopped today, but he can't interview. He's got an exclusive interview window until the 14th. Whatever the case is, and I don't know which is true because I have not seen that anywhere else, but I heard the dude that was in for Greeny today, that's what he was saying, that the contract actually ends today, but there's this exclusive interview window. Now, if Mike McCarthy actually agreed to that and that's in his contract, that's on Mike. Jerry told us the other day, the hay is in the barn when it comes to the coaching staff. Now, none of us are really redneck enough to understand what that means, but he clarified nothing that happened in the Washington game was going to impact his decision on Mike McCarthy's future with the team. So if the hay is in the barn, wouldn't you have already had the conversations at the very least with Mike McCarthy's agent? Like you would know, like the season's over, you've made up your mind, you know which way you're going. Is it on Mike McCarthy at this point to give him an answer? Now, if Jerry has presented a contract offer to Mike McCarthy and he has not responded, I certainly could see when you have him under contract in an exclusive interview window, why would you let him go interview with the Bears and negotiate against Jerry? Right now, I've got you, and I don't have to negotiate against any other team. That's smart business if you're Jerry Jones. Kind of a bad word, I can't say on radio word, move on the part of Jerry Jones, but why would he invite somebody else to negotiate against when right now it's just him and Mike McCarthy?
I think it's a done deal. I think Mike McCarthy's coming back. I think it's already done. He's not going anywhere because you talk about bad publicity. If Jerry denies Mike McCarthy an opportunity to go interview with the Bears and then doesn't give him a contract, that's horrible PR. I don't care if you like it or not, or you don't care what kind of PR you get. That is terrible PR on the part of the Dallas Cowboys.
If that were to happen, and I totally agree, which is why as soon as I saw that, my guess is, Mike, do you really want to go interview? Or do you really want to be here and we're having a conversation? If we're negotiating, and I've told you I want to bring you back, but we're working on details, yeah, you're not going to go interview with the Bears. I'm not going to negotiate against Chicago when I've got you here in this exclusive window. But if you're Mike McCarthy, I mean, puppet, joke, whatever you want to make, if he's on board with, yeah, we've got an agreement, but we're waiting until the Eagles kick off to announce it, and Mike, you look like a fool in the meantime. If Mike is okay with that, taking the money from Jerry, that's on Mike McCarthy.
Well, look, I mean, Mike McCarthy's been very quiet. Mike McCarthy could have found a camera to go to and negotiated through the media like Jerry does. He could have done the exact same thing.
Sure.
Hasn't done that. He's not going to. I don't think Mike gives a damn, and that's why I think this deal is done. And when I saw that break last night that they have denied permission for him to go talk to the Bears, it's a done deal. It's already done. It's just a matter of maybe dotting some I's and crossing some T's and when Jerry wants to announce this thing.
But, again, bad PR. And this is where Jerry seemingly doesn't give a damn if it's good or bad as long as you're talking about it. If it's done, announce that it's done. Don't announce. Jerry's not going to let him go interview because that is such a chicken bleep move on the part of Jerry Jones. And it makes Jerry look bad. It makes him look petty. You know, when he can tell me in 1 second, yeah, somebody wants to go talk. No. Especially, it will look even worse if the 14th comes around, or I don't know, next Tuesday, they're calling a press conference to introduce James Pledger as the new head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, and Mike McCarthy didn't get a chance to interview for the Bears.
Dude, that would be the absolute worst. It would be the absolute worst. Now, if the Bears were really interested in Mike McCarthy, then maybe that's okay. They will wait until the 14th to interview him. They're going to interview everybody. I don't see the Bears hiring Mike McCarthy unless Pete Carroll turns him down or Ben Johnson turns him down or a list of other guys turn him down. I don't honestly think – I don't want to say they don't want Mike McCarthy, but I think he's down on the list a little ways.
And again, when you look at the interview requests, feels like all these teams throw out so many options. Some of them feels like they're just there to check a box, which is BS in the hiring process that the NFL requires. But at the same time, they're trying to get information from everybody they can just on how other organizations work, and this is their time to do it. It's an idea gathering time. So we have no idea how seriously they are considering Mike McCarthy for the job, but wouldn't you love to pick the brain of a Mike McCarthy if you're in the Bears front office?
Well, you'd certainly like to do that. You'd like to pick the brain of Ben Johnson, which when they interview him, I'm sure they're going to want to do that. I mean, the Detroit Lions are in their division. So, I mean, you could say that about every coach and every candidate that's coming there to interview with these guys. So, look, I just think McCarthy's a long shot. I think Mike knows that. And if the Bears can get – and the big rumor is Pete Carroll, which kind of surprises me and kind of doesn't. But I could see Pete Carroll going there and doing a good job with the Caleb Williams and building a culture there. But I could also see the hotshot Ben Johnson. That's who they want. If he doesn't demand the moon and he's interested in that job, then why not hire that guy? With what he's done with the Detroit Lions, I think you'd be foolish not to try and nab that guy away.
And listening to Dan Campbell yesterday, also foolish not to consider Aaron Glenn.
Aaron Glenn.
I mean, Dan Campbell said yesterday, if another hiring cycle goes by and Aaron Glenn is not a head coach, people are missing the boat. He said, I'd be glad to have him back, but the reality is he should be a head coach somewhere. He should be.
Absolutely. The New York Jets ought to think about Aaron Glenn. I think he'd be a great place for him to go. And you get rid of that old relic Aaron Rodgers and get somebody new in there and start over. He could put his stamp on it.
Change that country club. What did Rex Ryan say he was going to do? The country club atmosphere is gone as soon as he shows up there. This idea of missing out. And, you know, of course, Aaron Glenn played for the New York Jets for a long time.
He did.
So it would have that kind of feel, too. Aaron Glenn, man.
Another hot prospect.
But his name isn't talked about near as much because he's on the defensive side.
True. Well, look, Ben Johnson's the guy. Mike Vrabel's the guy. Those are the two hottest candidates, I would say. I mean, they are. And Vrabel, who knows? Raiders, Patriots, he's most likely going to go to. I would bet on the Patriots, but we'll see what happens. But Ben Johnson is the boy genius right now, and everybody's looking at him. Everybody wants him.
So, Vrabel, we know if Mike McCarthy moves on, Vrabel isn't coming to Dallas. Ben Johnson isn't coming to Dallas. Aaron Glenn?
I don't know. Would that get you excited?
More so than Kellen Moore. More so than Ron Rivera. I mean, I know you think about Aaron Glenn. He didn't play long enough in Dallas to be considered a Cowboy. He's played a lot of places. He is an Aggie, though, so he's Texan. He's got that, but, you know, you would think Kellen Moore might be the favorite first-time head coach, and I just think, well, there's Jason Garrett 2.0. So I don't know. I don't know how excited I'd be about Lil Kellen Moore.
Well, why would you be? I wouldn't be excited about Kellen Moore. I'd rather have Cliff Kingsbury. But he hasn't really been mentioned that much for head coaching interviews.
Other than Chicago, because he knows Caleb, which, you know.
Mike McCarthy's not going anywhere. I truly believe McCarthy will be the head coach. The question is, for how long? What's the length of that contract going to be?
So that's 3 years, 4 years, 2 years. What are the incentives? And you kind of figure that's what they've got to be talking about because the hay is in the barn.
The hay's in the barn.
Whatever that means.
That means the decision's been made.
Mm-hmm.
I'm redneck enough to know that.
Well, you are.
I am.
Alice, Texas.
That's right.
Well, you used to bale hay on Saturdays for a quarter a bale.
Now, first of all, I didn't bale any hay. I'll promise you that. There was no hay baling for me. A lot of BSing. But no hay baling.
So nothing's changed your entire life.
Exactly right.
Oh, man. Seems like a lot of BS when it comes to this new Spurs arena. At least it feels that way after what we learned last night. We'll talk about it. Coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Have you avoided getting your T levels checked? Why continue to live with low energy or low libido potentially caused by low testosterone? Make a New Year's resolution to yourself and go to Synergenics. And I recommend the providers at Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss because their personalized TRT goes beyond standard treatments. Not all TRT is the same. At Synergenics, you'll get a personally optimized TRT treatment plan from providers who specialize in testosterone therapy. Book that initial appointment at synergenicshealth.com. And Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss offers weight loss management with affordable prescription GLP-1 plans. For current patients, Synergenics offers a $150 referral credit whenever you refer a new patient. Testosterone starts to decline in our 30s, so if you're feeling a loss of energy and drive, it could be caused by low T. Go get checked at Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss. Book that initial appointment at synergenicshealth.com, SYNERGENX health.com for Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss.
The Morning Huddle.
Those videos where they put a piece of tape and some string and they like tape it to the back of their face.
Oh, yeah. Look how much it's moving.
So I'm going to have to come up with some kind of contraption.
Oh, man.
With some fishing wire and duct tape that's going to pull this wobble back or whatever.
You're gonna look like Kim Cattrall.
The Morning Huddle with AJ and Rob. Weekday mornings 6 to 10. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's time to huddle up and listen close. For 2024, we pay tribute to a true game changer in the world of snacks. The unrivaled, the unbeatable, the pork rind. Yes, it's crunch time, and we're not just talking about the last few nail-biting minutes of the game. We're talking about a snack so audaciously crunchy, it puts those pretentious chips and pretzels to shame. So here's to you, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds, for being more than just a crunch. Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. It's crunch time. Find your rind at H-E-B.
My wife and I always loved doing everything together. Jiu-jitsu, kayaking, and intimacy was always on point. It was around my early 30s when I noticed a downward trend. watching a lot of TV, putting on weight, and just full of self-doubt. I tried another men's clinic with disappointing results. It's the personalized treatment I receive at Revive Men's Health that has been the complete game changer for me. I've got my energy and motivation back. I'm feeling stronger than I did in my 20s, and it made me a much better husband to my wife.
I'm Nicole Chrysler, healthcare provider at Revive Men's Health. If you are always feeling tired or moody, have a difficult time sleeping, or decreased libido, you may be suffering from low testosterone.
Book your free T-check and exam. Call Revive Men's Health San Antonio at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Well, family, this new year is off to a great start. Everybody, how are those New Year's resolutions?
Dear, my resolution is to cut my damaged hair and just start over.
Dad, my resolution is to take better care of my skin. It's so dry. Ew.
Pops, my New Year's resolution is to work out at the gym. Go up and drink a gallon of bottled water every day.
My resolution is to take up skydiving.
Mom, you're 96.
Don't you make me get it.
Family, my resolution is to replace all our appliances that have been destroyed over the years by hard water.
Sounds like your family needs to start the new year off with installing a Connecticut water system and get a head start on all those resolutions.
This guy's making sense.
For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station at your kitchen sink. $400 off with trade-in and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Don't wait. Offer ends soon. Call Connecticut of San Antonio and the Hill Country.
The last water softener you'll ever own. ConnecticutSA.com.
The Gomez Law Firm has been San Antonio's trusted law firm for 50 years. We have Jose with the Gomez Law Firm here with us today. Jose, tell us about the cases you all specialize in.
We do ride-sharing cases, we do 18-wheeler cases, work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you or your family have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, you need to visit joegomezlaw.com. Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature-Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature-Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Guess we're back. Pledge didn't tell us.
What?
I guess we're back. Pledge didn't tell us.
We're back.
We're back. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Whether you're watching on YouTube, you can always subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. Or if you're listening on one of the gazillion apps that we're on, which is all of them, Gabe is driving back from Corpus, and Gabe must be one of those 2-phone, 3-phone kind of guys, because he's got the phone on one of those fancy phone holder things, and you can see he's listening online because in the windmills when you're driving up from Corpus in the background. So he must have taken that with the other phone, probably the work phone, right? Pay attention, drive safe, but we'll get you home from Corpus.
Yeah, we appreciate you listening, Gabe. Awesome.
Absolutely.
Wherever you're doing it.
Although, dude, stay at the beach. Why would you come back? It's going to be cold and rainy the next couple of days
you think
here.
It's going to be cold and rainy in Corpus?
Wouldn't you rather be cold and rainy looking at the beach than wherever he lives? You're at the beach.
Well,
you're at the beach.
Yeah, perhaps.
You're at the beach.
Yeah, but if you can't go out in the beach,
I mean, I'm not saying.
There. I mean, I can look out my window and have a drink and look at whatever, and I'd be doing the same at the beach.
Again, but if you're at the beach, you're looking out and you see the ocean, you see the water. It's a little bit more relaxing. You're just not going to go pee in it, all right, because it's too cold. But if you're at home and you're doing the same thing, I would rather be at the beach. I would always rather be at the beach. Always.
But there is something to your own bed sometimes.
Sure, Pledge. Yeah, you're right.
Like, you've been on vacation for long periods of time. Sometimes you just want to get home and get in your bed.
I'm sure.
Sometimes you do.
And, the next day I go, damn, I could have stayed a couple more days at the beach. Right? I mean, there's something about your own bed. It's always going to be there unless it's not. So I'd rather stay on vacation.
Well.
Right? And, you know, if he's traveling for work, you're staying on vacation on somebody else's dime, which is even better.
Drive safe, Gabe.
Drive safe. Yeah, that's it.
Enjoy your bed tonight.
Yeah. I mean, you don't know. Maybe Gabe has a crappy bed.
He might.
Maybe the hotel bed is better. Maybe. Who knows?
Gabe, questions we all have, buddy. Will you please let us know that?
We don't give a damn.
We want to know.
We
want to know all about your bed,
We
Gabe.
really don't. I definitely don't give a damn about your bed.
We want to know all about it. Is it lumpy? Too soft? Are we still talking about beds?
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You never want to hear the words "too soft" in that context.
Yeah, very.
Oh, you gotta give him that huck too and spit on that thing. You get me?
At Joe Reinagle 210 and tweet at me at Jason Minix. Same on Instagram. Go back to the beach. And like Gabe is saying, you can be at the beach and still listen. You're going to get everything you need to know. Spurs play tonight. Big game for the Spurs. On ESPN television, 8:30 tip. The Freak against the Alien. I just want to see the Spurs finish 4 quarters tonight.
Well, they haven't done that in the last 2 games, so we'll see if they can do that tonight. Milwaukee's been kind of lately.
Well,
so
it's that middle of the season cup hangover thing. You saw the Lakers deal with it last year. They won the cup that nobody gives a damn about, and then they pooped the bed the rest of the season.
What's the Spurs' excuse then?
Well, they didn't win the cup, but
they've got to learn how to win.
They are, yeah. Well,
that's it.
They're a young team, Joe.
We got to learn how to win.
They're a young team.
Dude, I'm not sure. Devin Vassell's 85 by now, isn't he? Keldon Johnson's got to be getting up there too.
You know, he might be. And again, here's the thing. If you're the front office, and we know a lot of people over there in that Spurs front office that listen to this show, the idea of skipping steps, now is really the time to speed up the process because they're trying to get a new arena. They want Project Marvel. And it wasn't that long ago they announced at City Council all these grand plans and these cool drawings, and we all went, wow, right? The lease on the Frost Bank Center ends in 7 years, 2032. Yesterday, after Commissioner's Court, the county judge said, if you were going to ask me today to put it on a ballot, I would say no because I don't have enough information. And there's an article in the Express News that is pretty eye-opening, written by Brooke Park, because I would have thought that the Spurs, when they announced Project Marvel, had all this information to those that need to know. We're not those people. But people like Judge Sakai, I would think, wouldn't be saying after a meeting, I don't have all these answers. Until I do, I can't put this on the ballot. Judge Sakai will be on with us tomorrow about this time, 2:35. So in about 24 hours from right now, Judge Peter Sakai is going to join us here live on the Blitz. But when you think about the urgency of a Spurs arena, because they want it on the May ballot. Now, buildings like this cost billions and take years to construct, and everything with Project Marvel will take time. It all won't get done at the same time. But the Spurs need the Wemby Center built before Wemby has a decision to make on his future in San Antonio.
Well, that's not going to happen.
Well, plans in place.
Plans in place.
Well, I mean, but again, they got 7 years, but how many more years do you have on that rookie deal? If it hasn't been on a ballot or if it's been voted down and you're saying we're going to continue playing here, I just think for the Spurs in the future with Wemby and the Wemby Center that a building, while it won't be done, certainly needs the ball needs to be moving down the court. This will happen, not we hope this happens. This will happen. But also, I mean, we think about the Frost Bank Center. Boy, we approved the hell out of that as soon as they won a championship. Like the timing of that, win a title and vote to build a new arena. You keep losing games like the other day and you're a, so-so team hovering around 500, it's harder to get just that average fan to go out there and vote. We've seen this recently in Kansas City. Now, it's the Chiefs and the Royals. Royals haven't won anything, but the Chiefs have a couple of Super Bowls, but they didn't have their act together, and voters said no.
Well, look, I said this when this whole drawing came out, and I said the Spurs shouldn't just sit on their hands. They need to get out. They need to tell people what they're going to do. They need to get people excited about it. They need to go out and have an education for all the citizens of Bexar County and tell them what they want to do. Tell them what it's going to cost. Tell them what they need to put in, what kind of a tax plan. And since then, we've heard nothing but crickets. Nothing. Not a damn thing. And it's not just the citizenry. It's obviously the elected commissioners and the county judge have heard nothing. And I find it baffling, if not arrogant, that you just assume, well, it's the Spurs. We don't want them to leave, so whatever they need, we're going to do. And that's what it seems to me. Unless somebody tells me different, you've got to go out and sell this to people. You can't just sit back and assume that it's going to happen, because obviously it's not. When you've got a county judge like Peter Sakai, who actually gives a damn about the people. Now, it's not to insinuate the Spurs don't. Please don't take that the wrong way. But I'm just saying, you've got to explain this. If you're asking people to pay more taxes, and I don't care where it comes from, you've got to go out and sell it. And to this point, the Spurs have not gone out and sold anything to anybody.
And they haven't, including media types like this program. When they first announced that, we requested to have all kinds of people on to give us more detail, and, well, it hasn't happened. Now, I will say this. The Spurs and what you're describing, I'll use the word, it sounds arrogant. They know they're going to get what they want because they do. If the Spurs were to leave, San Antonio becomes El Paso, and none of us want that. So I do think there is a mindset with a lot of people that Spurs want it, Spurs will get it. But it's not that simple. And you get a guy like Judge Sakai, who, at least with what I read there yesterday, and, we'll have him on tomorrow, and he had a better feel for him, because I think I might have spoken to him once or twice in person in my life. I don't know the guy. It's not like Judge Wolf where you had a good idea of which way he was going to go. I don't know Judge Sakai that way, so I don't know. But he seems like right now a good steward of his position, that he's not just going to put it on there because the Spurs say put it on there. He wants to get some input. The other part of it, when you look at the article in the Express News, now Commissioners Court have until February 14th to call a May tax election. So Sakai needs this information pretty quick if this is going to get on the ballot in May. The other part of it is what's going to happen with the Frost Bank Center. And the county money that's going to help fund Project Marvel is also going to do something over there on the east side. That's where Tommy Calvert is the commissioner, and he's going to join us this afternoon at 5:15 to get more idea of there, because, quite frankly, the revitalization part of the east side, when they built that thing, has never happened. But they don't want to, because that's still is it a modern NBA building? No. Is it time to get a new one? Yes. But is that building ready for a wrecking ball? Absolutely not. So what's going to happen with that arena, which who knows if it'll still be, probably won't be called Frost Bank Center, but what's going to happen with that building once the Spurs move to the new Wemby Center downtown?
Yeah, and the rodeo's not enough. I mean, obviously the rodeo will continue to be there. That seems pretty obvious, but that's not enough. So what else can you put in there? What else? What other kind of function does that building have when and if the Spurs leave that building? So, and all of those questions. But to see an article like we saw yesterday in the San Antonio Express News, and to see that the county judge, the Bexar County judge, has no clue where anything's coming from or no plans or anything, to me is just, malpractice. How in the world do you not give this man whatever he wants, 3 weeks ago? It makes no sense to me.
It's a bad look in my mind for the city and for SS&E. When I read this line in the Express News, the county is also still in the dark about how much the Spurs and city would contribute to the arena's construction. which is expected to cost more than $1 billion. Sakai said the Spurs should kick in substantial equity, whatever that means, and that homeowners shouldn't be saddled with higher property taxes as a result of public financing for the arena. See, now, property taxes, now you've got my attention. Hotel, motel tax, every time I check into a hotel, I don't care where I'm traveling, I know I'm buying something in that city that I'm probably not going to use, and I'm cool with that. That's the cost of travel. Property tax, that raises all of our ears.
Yeah, that's a problem. If that's, and surely that's not where they're going to go, because there's not a chance in hell that anything like that passes. I don't care what it's for.
Nope.
It's just not going to. I mean, property taxes are high enough as it is.
Here
My
we go.
goodness. It's outrageous. And we're paying for stuff we don't use.
Well, but I'm fine with that.
And that's fine, too.
I mean, both of our kids are out of school, yet we still pay for that.
Absolutely.
I'm fine with that. But motel tax, that pays for arenas. Paid for the dome,
but see,
now it's profitable.
There are, and I don't know how it works, and I'm happy to get Judge Sakai on, and anybody else that wants to educate us on this, but I'm not sure how many times you can use a hotel tax. I don't think you can just throw it out there every single time for something. I don't know the answer to that.
Why not?
Well, I don't know. They're called rules.
They're made to be broken. Rules are made to be broken.
I could be dead wrong, but
I say for most of this, hotel, motel, some sort of tourism tax.
Hotel, motel, Holiday Inn. Yeah.
Here we go. Don't do that again.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that again.
Well, I'm just saying that you teed that baby up perfectly.
Mm-hmm. And you swung and missed.
That was a 300-yard drive right down the middle.
That was not good.
It was awesome.
Bled, you thought that was good?
I'm shocked he even knew it, so yeah.
He's shocked he knew it.
Uh-huh. I knew it. I remember some things.
Mackenzie, was that good?
There are some people in here that don't know what the hell's going on.
That wasn't good, was it?
She has no clue what that is.
She said it was bad.
We have a guest today, by the way.
We do.
Yes.
We do.
Very, very happy to have a guest today.
Shadowing.
Shadowing?
She wants to be in the business.
She does?
She's learning.
And she's learning from us?
I mean, she's stuck around for an hour.
Wow.
She hasn't left yet.
Uh-huh.
She hasn't really learned anything yet, but, she's wasted an hour of her life she won't get back.
That's true. Well, she's young.
Got plenty more hours to waste.
Plenty more hours to go, yes.
Absolutely. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You're riding with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6. KTFM Floresville. And everywhere at sasportstar.com.
In Texas, your spouse can claim alimony after just 10 years of marriage. Do you know your countdown? I guarantee she does. I'm Gary Barton, owner of Barton & Associates, attorneys at law. If you're considering divorce, it's absolutely crucial to understand your options right now. Don't let alimony catch you off guard. Protect what you've built and secure your hard-earned assets. Visit TexasDivorce.com. At Barton & Associates, we focus on navigating the complexities of divorce law to ensure you're not left vulnerable. Divorce is tough, but you have a choice. Take control of the process or allow your spouse to dictate the terms. If you're serious about safeguarding what you have built and your financial future, Barton & Associates is the team for you. We'll act swiftly and decisively, ensuring that you're not taken advantage of. Call Barton & Associates at 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-MILLION. Or visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
Hey guys, it's AJ Hoffman from the Morning Huddle. Guys, excited to tell you about my friends over at SA Card House. They're located right off of 281 at Bitters, and this is the best card house in all of San Antonio. This is a premier poker experience. I got used to playing online in Vegas, and then every once in a while I'd go out, I'd get in the casino and play cards. I'm so excited to be back in a place where I can get my hands on the cards, sit down at the table, feel the feel of the table, feel those chips. You gotta love it. This is a private social club. They're open 7 days a week, and they're open all hours of the night. So you get up, whatever hours you're working, you get off work, you want to go play some poker, great. You work in the mornings, you want to play in the afternoon, great, like me. It's a great time, great atmosphere, a clean place, which is a big deal for me, and they welcome every skill level. On top of that, they've got a bar and grill, Foster's Bar and Grill attached. You don't have to be a member to dine. 5-star chefs on hand with nightly specials. The food is incredible. Check them out and check them out online, sacardhouse.com.
If you're thinking about a compact tractor and you want the best, you can afford a Kubota. Hi, I'm John Ewald with Ewald Kubota. Come into one of our locations and check out the new Kubota L2502 package deal, including a 4-wheel drive tractor with a hydrostatic transmission, a front loader, a rear mower, a box blade, and a trailer, all for one low price. With a deal this good, you can afford a Kubota from Ewald Kubota. From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
You know the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch any big game with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. Football, basketball, all the fights. And when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch the game. Just down from the big blind, the Roo Pub, right next to the Angry Elephant. 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the San Antonio Spurs look to bounce back and snap their 2-game losing streak. They return to action tonight in Milwaukee against Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Bucks. Jeremy Sohan is out for that game with back tightness. Tip-off, national television, by the way, is set for 8:30. And the Cowboys have denied permission to the Bears to interview Mike McCarthy. What does that mean? Will he be back in Dallas next year?
Guess what day it is?
Joe Reinagel.
That's the 3rd time in 7 seasons. The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Mike. What day is it, Mike? Hump day.
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 Yeah, I love that camel.
Seems like Fred is a little out of rhythm on that one.
A little more rhythm that time.
That felt off.
Are you kidding me?
That was off.
Hump day.
No, that's way off. That was bad.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Like a sick goat.
When was the last time you heard a sick goat?
I've never heard of one, but I can only
Lord.
imagine.
Oh, yeah. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. You know, we discussed earlier about do we want to continue, Joe, doing that every Wednesday at the top of every hour. We put a poll up on our YouTube channel. Right now, 74% say yes.
And we got 50 votes right now. We're going to leave that up, Ryan. Leave it up for a little while, and
should be so many more votes than that.
If you want that to continue, we'll continue it. If you don't, we won't. I'm going to leave it to the people to decide. Yeah.
The Fred says the cold has got to Joe's humps.
The cold?
Well, apparently he's blaming cold on the lack of rhythm in your humps there. I mean, it sounds like Fred is blaming shrinkage.
Well, I don't want a big, long thing down there. It's not necessarily due to the cold. It's a lot of factors in that. But anyway, I thought that was a much better hump than the first one.
You did?
Absolutely. Much better.
I wouldn't say that was much better.
Wow.
It was off, but I blame Pledge. I mean, he did not keep you in rhythm.
All right. Well, we'll blame Pledge. I'm good with that.
Oh, it's always Pledge's fault. I mean, it truly is always Pledge's.
Well, of course.
Joe's toes.
Yummy.
Gross.
You know,
I'm glad that was you. I'm glad that was you that read that.
That, if you don't recall, was a tweet after I was kind enough to show my feet on this radio station. Joe's toes, put them in my mouth. See, that was somebody that called in or was on.
He sent an Instagram direct message.
Is that what that was?
Talking about what he wanted to do to you, and you read it on air.
Joe's toes, yummy.
Which
See?
I was like, I'm not reading this because I know Pledge is going to immediately turn it into drops.
Well, you know, I mean.
And it sounds even worse hearing it again.
Joe's toes. Anytime you want me to display the feet again, I'll be happy to do so.
Nobody wants to see that.
I'm just saying.
Nobody.
Obviously, there is somebody out there that does.
Can't read that comment from Robert there on YouTube. You guys can go read it. Ryan, go make sure you see it because that's freaking hilarious. Oh boy. Gillespie sends a text. Yeah, I can't read that.
You can't read that one?
Yeah, I'll read parts of it.
Come on, you can read it.
I mean, it's Gillespie. You know, it's always a very dangerous thing when she texts in because her mind is worse than yours, guys. Something about the hotel motel we were talking about threw you off your hump day. And then there's things in there about road winds and other stuff that I can't read on the air. But you get the idea.
Oh, you gotta give him that huck too and spit on that thing. You get me?
You know,
do the headline blitz.
Yeah, please.
This is Jason and Joe's Headline Blitz. Two guys, two opinions, never enough time.
You know, since we're on the conversation of road winds, let's jump down to the Louisiana mayor story. We'll start the headline blitz with the one that we were going to read last if you were looking at our rundown, and it's in the area that if we get to it, we get to it. But we're gonna start there.
I found that last, actually, and this guy's only 25 years old, and I can't pronounce the name of this town in Louisiana.
Well, there's a lot of towns in Louisiana with names you can't pronounce. Bogalusa. Maybe Bogalusa.
Guy's 25 years old.
Yes.
So I kind of have a hard time blaming the guy. He's 25.
All right. First off, he's a 25-year-old mayor. And
Bogalusa.
From Bogalusa. And apparently, I don't know, that part of Louisiana, a lot of drug trafficking, a lot of bad things going on in there. So the police department, they put together a sting. And the sheriff's office, they arrested a lot of people, including the mayor. Now, it was one thing when it was just drugs, but then they realized, you know, this guy on city money, while at a conference in Atlanta, had an Airbnb that the city paid for, and he also used the company credit card or whatever, city credit card, city funds to buy a prostitute.
And
the city apparently says you can't buy prostitutes on city money.
I think there were drugs involved, too.
Yeah, there were drugs. But were they more worried about the drugs or more worried about the prostitutes? And again, a 25-year-old.
First of all, y'all elected him. He's 25. I mean, what do you expect? Guy hasn't even gone through puberty yet, for goodness sake.
Oh, yeah.
25 years old. And so he goes on a trip to Atlanta where I'm sure there are beautiful prostitutes. And, I mean, how do you help yourself?
I mean, you're 25.
You're 25.
You're 25.
So what are you saying? He ought to be able to get it without paying for it?
More or less.
I got you.
Yeah.
He's a good-looking dude.
I mean, and there's that, too. A 25-year-old mayor?
Successful, obviously. You won an election?
Absolutely.
Wow.
I don't know what the population of this city is, but, yeah, he's in trouble.
Yeah, well,
apparently that's not the way to use city funds.
Well, that's daddy.
For all of you politicians that listen to this show, that's probably not the way to use city funds. You think they probably go over that with politics orientation.
You think so?
Yes. I mean, I know like when we travel for work, Our company won't even buy our beer at dinner. We always have to get 2 receipts, one for the food and then one for the alcohol.
Well, that's true. That we have to pay for.
Yeah, we
Out
have
of
to
our
pay
own
for
pocket.
it. Yes. Well, the city has seen you drink. The company has seen you drink.
Yeah, it might not be good for the bottom line.
Are you kidding? This year's Super Bowl is in New Orleans.
Oh my gosh.
I cannot wait.
Uh-huh. That's fantastic.
I know you're excited about it.
I'm thrilled.
Well, you go down on Frenchman Street, Bourbon Street. They got 4-for-1 beers. I'm all in.
I'm looking forward to. I don't think it's called Harrah's anymore, is it? It's
The casino there? It's changed. You're not going to do any gambling.
Oh yeah, I am.
You're not.
Oh, there will be some gambling involved.
I hate to break your heart, man. I've been to a Super Bowl in New Orleans. Last time the Ravens won was there. We're not going to beer bet it because he's gonna go play. But here's the problem with that casino that you're talking about. You get all fired up to go, and you walk in there, and there's a lot of people in Super Bowl City that are stupid rich. So all of a sudden you want to go play blackjack, and it's a $500 minimum hand. And you keep walking. And you keep walking. And you keep walking. Because you can't afford the minimums because that small. And there's no place to sit down anyway, but the minimums are ridiculous. So I'm going to probably say you're not going to do a lot of gambling. It's not like, what was it, last year in Vegas? Was Vegas last year or 2 years ago?
Last year was Vegas, yeah.
It was hard to do some gambling. And Ryan Eagle found the seediest of CDS casinos for us to go into. And it was just this little place you had to get buzzed in.
I actually won $200
and you
in that place.
You won $200 in there, and I thought we all needed a tetanus shot as we left.
I think they had to go out and call for a loan to pay me.
And all it was were machines in there, no other gambling. But Joe's like, oh, I found this one online. Let's go. And as we're leaving, the lady knew we were not locals because they never get tourists in there. When we called Uber to come get us, she said, you better wait inside until the car is right there and confirm the car because you will get robbed leaving here if you go wait outside. That's where Ryan Eagle took us to in Vegas.
I did, but I won, so it was all good. I didn't have any problem with that.
Yep.
This is not on the list, Minix, but I just saw this, and I hope I don't get in trouble. Sacramento sports reporter appears to get caught on air investigating Rihanna's new Valentine's Day lingerie.
Well, it's called show prep.
Well, no, he was on the air already. And when you go down here and watch said video on Instagram, I can understand why. Now it's not letting me.
the eyes of Alpha Media.
The suits at Alpha Media
are keeping you from making national news for being a knucklehead.
Oh my gosh! So anyway, it's interesting, but he got caught. He's watching this video, and it's very.
But he's live on the air.
Well, it's a lingerie outfit from Rihanna.
Yes. So what were they seeing the reflection in his glasses or something?
I guess so. I'm like, dude, wait till you're off the air, okay?
Uh-huh.
He was probably off. I mean, it's hard. Rihanna's easy to look at, especially in lingerie.
Mm-hmm. That part is true.
So I just saw that, and it kind of caught my eye.
Mm-hmm.
No pun intended.
Did he get fired? Or is he just getting called out?
Well, I mean, it's just like, hey, dude, please stop. It doesn't say he got fired, but I'm sure he got a stern talking to.
Strongly worded email?
Yes, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You're I guess, fired former GM Carthen over there at the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
And I find it weird that this comes out. But, the Titans sucked while he was there the last 2 years.
It really did.
His drafting hasn't been great. But apparently, the guy after a game on the team playing would take a nap. And apparently that's a no-no, and he's getting called out for that. And, I first read this article, and, Paul Korhowski is the one that wrote the article. He's a solid reporter. And I find it interesting because he doesn't spend a lot of time on it, but somebody within the Titans organization felt comfortable enough to tell Paul all the different things that this guy did, and one of those was sleep on a plane. Now, it's one thing for you to sleep on a plane or me to sleep on a plane, but if you've ever been on a team plane, generally, you eat, and you start watching film. including the general manager.
Yes.
They're all watching film. It's still part of the work trip. Players can sleep, but coaches and the GM generally start watching film. But this guy would take a nap, and apparently he was so well liked in the building, they felt the need to tell that to Paul when they were talking about the bleep show that it was under his watch.
Well, you probably shouldn't do that. And again, it's like you shouldn't watch Rihanna on the air. You shouldn't sleep on a plane post-game. They all go hand in hand. Look, the guy, I'm sorry, but the guy didn't do well. His record with the Titans as general manager was pathetic. So, it's not like I'm going to feel sorry for this guy. And Amy Adams was very upset after that game against the Texans, the final one. We talked about it. She didn't go into the locker room, which she normally does. She didn't go on the field. All of those things. And obviously,
she had the number one pick.
Her wrath was aimed at the general manager. And maybe that's it. You got the number one pick. You don't want this guy screwing it up.
That's it. They wore the Oilers uniforms and lost.
Looked beautiful, too.
They did.
Man.
And they lost.
Well, they always lose when they wear those.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. They won because they pissed off every Houston Texan fan alive.
That they did. Cotton Bowl ticket prices plummet because the weather. We'll talk more about the matchup between Texas and Ohio State in about 20 minutes with our friend Bob Ballou from KI Television in Austin. But coming up, another interesting trade scenario involving the Spurs and De'Aaron Fox. We'll dive into that here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast, the best way to do that is by calling my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text the word bail to 474747, or you can start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds because nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, have a free shuttle service. They are discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. If you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, anywhere in between, license number 149, call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go online at mybestbailbonds.com.
It's showtime. Let's do it. It's fun time. Here we go.
South Texas home of the 12-team college football playoff is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. All of the matchups are brought to you by Ewald Kubota, the Break Room Bar, and Smoky Mo's Barbecue. Hear every game on South Texas' first and only FM sports station. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Coverage varies by plan, view contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
This is an announcement to all United States vehicle owners who own a 2003 or newer vehicle with a manufacturer's warranty about to expire, or no warranty coverage at all. With a struggling economy and the cost of living on the rise, Endurance is now offering an affordable, low-cost vehicle coverage plan to the general public. As of today, you could be one of millions of drivers that now may qualify to have your vehicle protected under this coverage and have all future covered auto repairs paid directly to the repair shop for you. You pick your plan. You pick your deductible. You even pick the repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental coverage is included. Get your vehicle protected now and save your wallet from costly vehicle repairs. A toll-free number has been established for you to call for your free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number to call is 800-299-1058. 800-299-1058. Again, that's 800-299-1058.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Hi, I'm Manny Jr. from Rock's Discount Vitamins. If you are looking to build muscle, strength, and boost athletic performance, check out our huge selection of anabolic pro hormones. These powerful supplements provide your body with essential nutrients for muscle growth, faster recovery, fat loss, and even improved bone health and libido. Visit one of our 12 San Antonio locations or go online at rocksdiscountvitamins.com to learn more. That's rocksdiscountvitamins.com. We thank God and you for your continued support. rocksdiscountvitamins.com.
So this new dose is... nope, that's not it. The price is nowhere to be found.
Mr. Green? Hi, it's all good. We've got this.
This is not just help from a Walgreens pharmacist.
Oh, new prescriptions. Cool. Let me check to see if these are the lowest cost options covered by your Medicare plan.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
This is someone supporting you every step of the way. Chat with a pharmacist today to find help saving. This is the human kind of help. Walgreens.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
America's best high school football players are coming to San Antonio. It's the Navy All-American Bowl at the Alamo Dome on Saturday, January 11th. C.J. Stroud, Christian McCaffrey, and Micah Parsons played here. Join us for a day of exciting football to see the stars of tomorrow at the Navy All-American Bowl, followed by the San Antonio Sports All-Star Football Game, presented by Valero. Fan Zone opens at 9:30 a.m. Tickets on sale at the Dome box office and Ticketmaster.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Friday, the Blitz is going to be live out at Pop Stroke with our friends from Yuengling. Little Flight Friday, getting you ready for the Cotton Bowl. Texas, Ohio State. Win some great Yuengling prizes. Have a good time. Watch the game. It's going to be fun.
I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to getting out to Pop Stroke and seeing what that's all about, especially after watching that golf last night. It was incredible.
It's this is Tiger Woods has his fingerprints all over this as well.
He does.
So certainly going to be a good time. The Spurs do play tonight, and nice matchup, national TV, the Freak, the Alien, should be good. But you also, it's that time of year where you have to filter through the BS trade rumors and then ones that go, well, maybe you're onto something here. Maybe. I like this one.
I do too. I like this one. It all revolves around De'Aaron Fox out of Sacramento, the point guard there, who, by the way, is the guy can score.
Yep.
Which is exactly what the Spurs need. But here was this is from Bleacher Report's Zach Buckley. Take it as you will, but I think this makes a lot of sense, and I'd like to know what Spurs fans feel about this. I like it. Jason already told you he likes it as well. De'Aaron Fox to San Antonio for Keldon Johnson, Jeremy Sohan, Trey Jones, a 2025 first-round pick via Chicago, top 10 protected, 2027 first-round pick, a 2026 first-round pick swap via Atlanta, and two 2026 second-round picks. So you're talking about, 4 draft picks and 3 players. It sounds like a lot, but I think a De'Aaron Fox, young guy, point guard, can score ungodly numbers, by the way. I think the guy's averaging 26, 27 points a game. It's a player exactly, I think, what the Spurs are missing right now.
It's a similar trade scenario that we talked about late last week. You were still on vacation. A lot of stuff was similar in there, but Steph Castle was involved in there. And Pledge, help me out. Was Vassell involved?
No, but I made the point that you're probably going to have to relinquish one of them to get a player in his caliber.
That's not what I asked. Was Vassell a part of that? No. Okay. But I'm not ready to give up on Castle yet. I like what he offers. So very similar. Keldon can go. Jeremy certainly can go. Trey Jones I like. I think that guy basketball IQ, everything he offers as a backup point guard. I would hate to see Trey Jones go, but if you got to lose that to get this deal done, I do that. All of the picks that are involved, the fact that they're top 10 protected, you look at how well Atlanta is playing this year, maybe it doesn't have the same value that it did in the summer, but at the same time, they're top 10 protected. So there is a lot involved there, but they've got a bucket of picks to get rid of. Use them. But use them with these kind of protections. This Bleacher Report, Zach Buckley trade scenario, this is more in lines of what I imagine Brian Wright and RC would be looking at. This seems a little bit more realistic when you look at trades. Does it make sense for both teams? Because most of the time when I see, a trade scenario, if somebody puts something on our YouTube channel or tweets at Joe Reinagel 210, at Jason Minix, it all makes sense for the Spurs, but why would it make sense for the other team? This one makes sense for both.
Well, I mean, if you're Sacramento, you're getting some young players, some guys that have potential, I guess, with the exception. I don't know what to think of Keldon Johnson, because I was a big fan of that draft pick, thinking that this guy was going to be the guy, and he just hasn't turned out to be that. But I think for Sacramento, if you're looking at it, you're looking at all the draft picks, and you're thinking that's not bad. De'Aaron Fox is averaging 27 points a game. He's also averaging over 6 assists a game. His field goal percentage is damn near 50%. The Spurs' biggest problem right now is a scorer other than Victor Wembanyama. He needs help, quite frankly, and I think that helps him tremendously. If you've got a shooter that can score the way De'Aaron Fox can score, and you have an opportunity to grab a guy like that, a young guy that can grow with this team, I think you do it. And if it takes something like Bleacher Report is reporting there, I'm all for that, because I'll be honest with you, I like Trey Jones too, but again, I mentioned Keldon Johnson. I don't think he hasn't reached the level that I thought he would, and honestly, I'm not a huge fan of Jeremy Sohan. I think he can do some good things, but if we have to let go of him, you let go of him for a guy like De'Aaron Fox.
I totally agree. And again, you've got to get rid of good to get good, right? You can't just say, all right, take the end of our bench for your superstar. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
I'm not at this point. Wemby's certainly untouchable, and I kind of have Castle in that category. I would have to get a lot more than De'Aaron Fox back to part ways with Castle, because I think his upside is tremendous. Now, you might say, well, if you're getting Fox, do you need a Castle? Yes, in this world of positionless basketball, I think you can utilize both of them. There might be some nights that create some matchup scenarios, but at the same time,
well, you're getting rid of Trey Jones.
Yeah.
Castle could be that backup point guard behind De'Aaron Fox, because Chris Paul is most likely going away after this year.
And again, if Chris said one more year, I don't know I'd be mad at that with what I've seen, but I also wouldn't be surprised as the trade deadline gets closer that Chris Paul doesn't get traded to a team with a chance at a ring. I still can't believe that guy chose San Antonio, foregoing a chance at a championship to add to his Hall of Fame resume. That said, he's here now, seems to really enjoy it, although did not enjoy the way they lost the other night. And I love the bulldog in him afterwards, being pissed off that they let that one get away, because that is what this group needs. It will be very interesting tonight to see how they respond. And when you're a Keldon Johnson, Jeremy won't play tonight, so Spurs will win. But But you look at some of these guys who it's part of the business, and it sucks when your name is involved in trade rumors, and you've got coaches and agents trying to reassure you, hopefully being honest with you. But from a human side, that's got to make it difficult on them, but they've got to be professionals. And if you're Keldon, you got to go play well enough to make sure wherever you end up is there. I'm with you. I love Keldon Johnson, but he hasn't gotten any better.
He has not.
And if the Spurs are going to get better, they've got to move on from Keldon Johnson, and he's tradable. He is a tradable player with a tradable contract.
I think he's the most tradable player on the Spurs roster at this point in time that would draw the most interest. Look, I just think it makes sense for a De'Aaron Fox. He's a point guard. The Spurs are going to need a point guard. And unless you think Stephon Castle is going to turn into that, and maybe he will, but if you've got an opportunity to get a veteran player, a 27-year-old who can score, I just think you do it, because right now that is the Spurs' biggest problem. Unless Devin Vassell decides that he's going to come alive, and to this point in time, he has his moments, but quite frankly, can you depend on it? A De'Aaron Fox you can depend on. He's just good. And the thing is, Sacramento, though, is on a roll right now. They've won 5 in a row. They're still on the outside looking in, even when it comes to the play-in. You know, what is their future? They've already fired their head coach.
Yeah, they fire their coach and they're winning games.
So, you know, it depends. But keep in mind, the trade deadline is February 6th. So that's not a lot of journey between here and there.
Let me ask you this, though. From a chemistry standpoint, and we don't know the inner workings of the locker room, Wemby is option 1, option 2, option 2C, option 3, Wemby's got to be the number 1 option and the number 2 option. Sometimes I wonder if Devin Vassell understands that Wemby is the number 1 option. Devin Vassell was the number 1 option until Wemby showed up. Now he's not. Do you think Devin Vassell, who seems to struggle with not being the number 1 option with Wemby, would be able to mentally handle being the number 3 option? Because if De'Aaron Fox showed up in San Antonio, it would be Wemby, it would be Fox, and then it would be Devin Vassell. Could a trade like this completely turn the chemistry upside down on this team, which means and again, only the Spurs know this. If they're going to get somebody like that, they know they've got to move Devin out just to keep the peace in that locker room.
Yeah, again, that's the inner workings of the locker room. But look, if Devin Vassell wants to win, you bring in a guy that can score the way Fox can. That just opens Wemby's game up even more than it is now. And let's face it, when you're talking about the last 2 games, fourth quarter, Wemby's disappeared. They need another threat, and they don't have that threat right now. I mean, teams can just load up on Wemby. You can wear him down. Maybe that's what's happening in the fourth quarter. I don't know, but the fact of the matter is the stats don't lie. He has disappeared in the fourth quarter of the last 2 ball games. So he needs some help. He can't do it all himself. As good as he is, he can't do it all himself. You bring in another scorer the caliber of a De'Aaron Fox, and it helps Wemby. It helps everybody because it's somebody else that the other team has to worry about.
Texas, Ohio State, Friday night in the Cotton Bowl. Let's talk about it with our Longhorn insider, Bob Ballou. He joins us next here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
First, though, let's talk about Stevens Roofing, because I love doing that. Great folks, great company, local company, and they've been in business in San Antonio and South Texas for a long, long time. And you don't stay in business for that long if you're not doing it right. Stevens Roofing is doing it right. Your roof, obviously, is a very important part of your house. It covers everything that you hold dear, including your family. So you want to make sure you have a reliable roofer. Stevens Roofing is that reliable roofer, and they can do any kind of job. Doesn't make any difference. Commercial building, you need a roof on a commercial building, Stevens Roofing can do that. You want a metal roof on your house? Well, Stevens Roofing can do that as well. They're licensed by the city of San Antonio. Estimates are always free. All you have to do is give them a call, 210-785-0994. And a lot of folks these days are thinking about going solar, putting solar panels on your house. Well, if you're thinking about that, Stevens Roofing can do that as well. Look, solar panels are increasingly affordable. They can save you money on your monthly utility bills. They'll often increase the value of your home, and this is important. There are even options to keep the lights on when the grid goes down. Heard another report yesterday that the grid is shaky. We're going to get some cold weather, and the last thing you want is your power to go out or go through these rolling blackouts that we have to do sometimes. Call Stevens Roofing. Ask them about those options. You won't have to worry about it at all. Stevens has a team of certified experts who will deliver solar solutions that are tailored to your specific needs. So if you need roofing or you want solar, call the local company that's been trusted for decades. Call Stevens Roofing, 210-785-0994. Stevens Roofing has your family covered. Give them a call, 210-785-0994.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Thursday on the Morning Huddle. Happy Small Friday. We get to start previewing college football playoffs. They get started tonight with Penn State Notre Dame.
Did the Spurs take care of business against the Freak? We'll undress it all and get you started. Get here early. It starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Being arrested is embarrassing, humiliating, and potentially life-changing. If you want to rewrite the script on the worst night of your life, then you're going to need a stable of aggressive and skilled attorneys. I'm Gary Barton, owner of Barton & Associates, Attorneys at Law. We are here to get your life and reputation back. Visit TexasArrest.com or call 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-million. As a former major crimes prosecutor, I've seen almost every type of arrest scenario play out. From small-degree drug accusations to death penalty capital murders, I've handled almost every type of case the state of Texas can charge you with. At Barton & Associates, we know how to flip the script and get your life back on track. Call us at 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-million. Or visit us at TexasArrest.com. That's TexasArrest.com. Barton & Associates, we are here to get your life and reputation back.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
Something amazing is happening. Technology is working harder, faster, and more reliably. It's delivering results that work. But who makes technology work? CDW. We're a full-service technology solutions provider, advising our clients and designing customized solutions so they can reach their goals and do amazing things. CDW. Make amazing happen. Find out more at cdw.com.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at TSAOG.com.
Whether you're ordering wings for the game, whipping up a 7-layer dip, or ordering pizza, there's something about football that makes you want to eat. And this football season, Uber Eats has the best deals on game day food. No matter what you're craving, from 2-for-1 pizza to buy one, get one wings, Uber Eats will be dropping new deals each week, all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Friday, we're going to be live out at Pop Stroke on I-10 near 1604 with our friends from Yuengling for a special Flight Friday. Win Yuengling prizes and then stick around and watch the Cotton Bowl, Longhorns and Ohio State. Let's talk about it with our Longhorn insider, Bob Ballou from KI Television in Austin. Joining us on the Buyers Barricades guest line. I know, let's see, you left Atlanta and you probably just got home driving about 20 minutes ago, so we appreciate you making time for us today, Bob.
We actually drove from Atlanta to Austin and then straight up to Dallas. We actually just got to Dallas. now we're here. We're on our way to an availability. Texas has like 6 people talking today for their final player coach availability, and then Sark's available tomorrow. Although we'll see if Sark's available tomorrow on Zoom or in person at AT&T Stadium, weather dependent.
Yeah, and that's the truth. What's the weather like, Bob? Did you just roll into town? Is it messy yet or no?
It's beautiful. It's sunny. There's not a cloud in the sky. It's like 45 degrees. It's awesome. And so I think it's all coming tonight, maybe. But some of the stuff that I read said it was going to all kind of stay north. Like we'll get flurries and maybe an inch or two or something. But I think in the end, it's certainly not going to be the catastrophic 13 to 15 inch event they originally thought it might be.
Which is good news because I don't know if you were at the Super Bowl in Dallas, Super Bowl 45, but man, that was just a nightmare. And what the early forecast was going to be worse than that. So looks like things are clearing up, although because of the weather forecast, seems like there's going to be plenty of seats in AT&T Stadium available. The prices have plummeted because it seems like a lot of people are staying away for fear of the weather.
I actually told a buddy of mine yesterday, he was like talking about seats he might get or whatever, and I was like, just wait till tomorrow or wait till Thursday. Because Thursday, like when the actual stuff hits, that's when everyone's going to be like, okay, I'm definitely not going now. So I was like, just wait, it'll plummet, and then you can go get your seats. But I have a feeling by the time Friday rolls around and enough Texas fans in the DFW area see that the weather's fine, the roads are fine, they can get out, that it'll be pretty packed, I would think. And obviously Ohio State, I assume, will travel well. They don't really care about the cold. They live in it. It's totally fine. So I think this will be a pretty sizable Ohio State crowd as well.
Well, Bob, which lends the question, I was shocked, and I even texted Minix when this first came out. Texas was a 6-point underdog. Now it's come down to 5.5, I think, which really surprised me. Look, Ohio State's and they're good, don't get me wrong, but 6 points better than Texas? I don't see that.
Yeah. Listen, I think the first thing that you always have to remember with this stuff, number one, is recency bias, and Ohio State has looked like world beaters the last 2 weeks, just pummeling Tennessee at home and then just rolling over Oregon in the Rose Bowl. I mean, to go up the way they did, 34-0 in the first half is I think everybody was truly stunned by it. But you look at that offense and what they have in their 2 running backs, their 2 receivers, what Will Howard's done this year. They're a top defense, if they're not 1 or 2 or 3 in the country. So I think everybody just sees that stuff. They see that Texas kind of let Arizona State back in the game. They let Clemson back in the game. They've kind of done that all year, and I think that kind of lends itself to where that line is.
Bob Ballou, KI Television in Austin. He's already in Dallas talking Cotton Bowl, Texas, Ohio State. You know, everybody talks about the Ohio State offense and that number 4, obvious reasons, and they've got other weapons. That Ohio State defense is pretty damn good, too. When you're, if you're Quinn Ewers, who, you know, had a cup of coffee there and got $1 million or whatever from Ohio State when he should have been a senior at South Lake Carroll, I don't know how many friends he still has on that program, but from an offensive standpoint, Texas couldn't run the ball against Arizona State. How in the hell are they going to run the ball against Ohio State?
Yeah, it's an interesting point, and I think to me personally, when you ask me what is the key for Texas, and we could start off offensively, I think it's running the ball, but I don't think it's running the ball the way they necessarily ran it against Kentucky, against A&M, against Clemson when they ran for 300 yards. I don't think it's like that. I think if you go back and watch that Michigan game, the way that Michigan frustrated Ohio State was they were physical. They got him into 3rd and longs and made Will Howard make mistakes. He threw 2 interceptions. They missed a couple field goals. You got to have a break here and there, obviously. The biggest thing was Michigan ran the ball, I think, for 142 yards, which isn't anything special. They did it on 42 carries. And what that tells me is they stayed committed to the run. And I think if there's one thing that maybe Sark has in his mind when he gets in a game, we need to be balanced. We need to run the ball, and he wants to do that, and they've been able to do it for the most part. But when they can't, that's when I think he thinks, okay, we got to throw. And if he can stay committed to the run, even if you're getting 3 yards a pop and you're getting first downs, you're going to have to bully this Ohio State team that way. And I think Texas can do it. I think when they got back, they talked about this. Kelvin Banks and Jake Majors and those guys have talked about this week. When they got back from the Peach Bowl in Atlanta, they were very frustrated with the way they ran the ball. And the coaches were as well. And that was one of the things they went to was, we need to be recommitted to this. And I think that's the word. If you're going to look for a word, it's not in the first quarter if they run it 4, 5, 6, 7 times. It's in the late second quarter, third quarter when they come out of the locker room. They've been terrible out of the locker room. I don't know if you heard this stat, Joe. I told it to Minix last week. In the last 6 games, Texas has 6 total points in the third quarter. They've been awful out of the locker room.
Wow.
But you look at, like, if they can stay committed in third and fourth quarter to running the football, I think that gives them as good a chance to win this game as just about any other game plan that they have will.
All right, Bob, this is going to blow your mind, but how do we get Quinn Ewers, the guy that played in the overtime against Arizona State, for 4 quarters?
Yeah, and I think it's a good question across the board for this team because they haven't been able to do it for 4 quarters for most of the season. They have lulls here and there. And I think one of the things for Quinn is that ability to be dialed in early, to not relax if they get a lead, and to keep putting that pressure on. I think Quinn has been the I know I've said this to you guys. I think Quinn has been the quarterback we thought he would be since really Kentucky, but even after Kentucky, certainly for A&M, he was against Georgia in the SEC title game. Clemson, they ran the ball a lot, and then he was against Arizona State, especially down the stretch. So I agree with you. It's got to be consistent, and I agree with you that they need it across the board, though. And if they can get that type of performance, again, it's not going to be perfect. It never is in these games because you play these teams that are, top 5 teams, top 3 teams. Now it's the top 4. These 4 teams left are all really good. And so you're going to make mistakes. Things are going to go wrong. You're going to have to deal with adversity. How do you handle it? And what we've seen from Quinn Ewers is when adversity hits, he is totally calm, and there are no issues whatsoever. And it's amazing. You think about the pick he threw against Georgia in the SEC title game with 3 minutes left. Horrible throw, terrible play, all those things. Well, they get the ball back, and he drives them right down the field for the game-tying field goal. He does the same thing against Arizona State when they tied at 24. He leads them on back-to-back drives in the final 3 minutes where they could have kicked a field goal to win the game. Obviously, Burt missed both. But Quinn's doing it in those moments. And then, obviously, to see the poise in overtime on 4th and 13, a throw that we will talk about forever. Maybe not with 4th and 5 unless Texas wins the national title. But that 4th and 13, first of all, check at the line, into the play they ran, and the throw to Matthew Golden. We'll be talking about that thing forever because under the circumstances, that's as good a throw as we've seen in forever at Texas.
And I'll only say we'll talk about it forever if they win a national championship. If they don't, it's kind of like Tim Duncan's greatest shot. After 0.4 or whatever, we hit that 3 and they lose, and we never really talk about it because they didn't win the championship that year.
Right.
Bob, you mentioned Burt Auburn. Who's kicking on Friday for the Texas Longhorns?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't think because they hadn't practiced, we haven't talked to Sark since the beginning of the week. I certainly think that will be a question tomorrow at the press conference when we talk to him. I will be interested to see. I don't foresee him making a kicking change. There was an Instagram post before the Peach Bowl when they played Arizona State with Will Stone kicking in the bubble that he put out. And people kind of thought, this means Will Stone's going to kick. Will does kickoffs right now. I don't know. Again, a coach has to trust his players at some point. You're 16 games into the season. And if they're not performing and you feel comfortable enough making that switch, he'll make the switch. But, Burt was the one thing that really kind of shocked me about the last field goal. Burt's had his struggles outside of 40 yards. He's 6 of 14 this year. But inside 40, he had not missed. And that field goal kind of tells you, like, hey, we're in a different headspace now. And whatever you want to say about Sark walking out to talk to him and all those things, Sark knows his kicker. Mac talked to Justin Tucker before he hit the 40-yarder to beat A&M in 2011. So a coach knows his kicker. He knows what he can say to him. I think Sark in that moment was just like, hey, we're all going to be calling you a hero in 2 minutes. Like, go do your thing. You've done this a million times. It didn't work. Okay, fine, but at least you know who your kicker is. So we'll find out. I don't know the answer to that. Hopefully we'll find out tomorrow.
Boy, and I tell you, it's really sad. It's like a golfer, right? You get a case of the shanks, and it gets in your head. Yep. and you just can't get it out of your head. And I don't think Bert's going to get that out of his head until he makes a kick. And unfortunately, this game, I could see it coming down to a kick. And everybody that's rooting for the Texas Longhorns in that moment in time is going to be just having a heart attack, knowing, is this guy going to make it or not?
And it is kind of crazy to think, like, so you're 16 games in the year. Do you make a switch at kicker to someone who has not kicked a field goal in his college career? Or do you just keep putting your hope and trust in the guy that has been your kicker, that was really good last year, that has struggled obviously of late? It's a hard decision. I mean, either way, it's a tough decision. You basically just have to go on what you see in practice. When you put him under, they're obviously putting him under pressure in practice. They're doing some things to try to get him back this week. My gut feeling tells me he's going to stick with Burt, but we'll see. We do not have that answer yet. And by the way, Joe, what do you know about having the shanks?
Well, I don't. I've heard that before, Bob.
You've seen him golf. Are you kidding? And again, it's kind of like the words you just used. It's right angle on the golf course. There's hope and there's trust. And I can go with trust. Hope is a bad plan.
Right. No, I mean, I agree. What do you, again, like I said, you've got another kicker on your team who has never kicked a collegiate field goal. So if you don't kick one all game and you've got a 38-yarder to win it, do you go to the guy that has never kicked before in the biggest moment?
I let Arch do it. Arch can do anything. I'd let Arch kick it.
He's going to stick with. He's going to stick with Burt. I don't think there's any. I just don't see Sark making a change like that in a game like this. And if Auburn lets him down, then he lets him down. But I just don't see Sark making a change at this point in time.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that, Joe. I really am, and I think. Kickers have an interesting mentality. They have to be kind of like Quinn. Like, you've got to have the mentality of, I made a mistake, who cares? Let's go do it again. We're going to make the next one. And, again, in the SEC title game, he was 4 of 6. Obviously, you want him to be 6 of 6. What happened against Arizona State, you don't want to happen to anybody, but it happened. Let's get over it and move on and go kick another one.
I almost wonder, with Sark, and quite honestly, Quinn Ewers, completely calm in situations. Every time they show Sark in those stressful situations, he makes me nervous, right? I mean, he's making Coffee nervous with some of his looks. I wonder if this is where you go to your leadership council or whatever they call it with the Longhorn program and ask them about their confidence in Burt, because those guys know him best.
I agree with that, Jason. I think that's why you have the leadership council. I think that's why you entrust your players in those moments. Is those guys are, it's kind of like this, a little bit like the Quinn Arch thing. Like, if there was a revolt in the locker room and nobody trusted Sark anymore and everybody wanted Arch, I mean, maybe things change a little bit. Maybe if Quinn is, like I joke about the kid from UNLV, that everybody was just like, thank goodness he's gone now. But like those type of things, you kind of go, you trust your locker room. Texas is in the Final Four for a reason, right? I mean, they know what they're doing. So, I think for those reasons, I think, to your point, Jason, I think you could see him go to the Leadership Council and see what they think.
All right, Bob, I've got to ask you, I haven't seen very many, but I have seen a report or two that there are some NFL teams that are possibly, looking at Sark. Any truth to that, or any fear that Sark might bolt for the NFL?
I'm sure there's truth to it, in the sense that I do trust what Adam Schefter says a lot of times, but also it's Jimmy Sexton season. And when Jimmy Sexton season comes around, you're going to hear a lot of things. We were actually talking about this on the way up. I have a hard time believing Sark would leave Arch for that first year he's going to have him up there. He's got a real opportunity to again showcase what he can do with a quarterback like Arch Manning. So I don't know. I'm sure there's truth to it. I'm sure there's always going to be talk like that when you have a good mind, like a Steve Sarkisian. But Sark has, again, we haven't talked to him since those reports came out. Not that he's going to say anything when we do, but we do get that opportunity tomorrow, so I'm sure that will come up as well.
Bob Ballou, KI Television in Austin. Gut feeling, how's this one going to play out?
I've said this all week. I think I basically expected exactly what would happen after Arizona State and after Ohio State pummeled Oregon. All the national pundits would come in hot. talking about how nobody can beat Ohio State. They're going to blow out Texas. That's exactly what's happened. Stephen A. Smith said it. Colin Cowherd said it. I've seen it on podcasts nationwide. I've said since the Arizona State game, I think Texas wins this game. And I've said it because I think, number one, there's something about this team. To come away with that win against Arizona State the way they did, after the season this defense has had, to be as good as they are, I don't think they're going to just give up 38 in the first half. Like, all those things, we're gonna see the best of Texas on Friday, and I think they find a way to get this win. Now, Ohio State is fantastic. I mean, you look at Emeka Egbuka, Jeremiah Smith is unbelievable. Judkins and Henderson in the backfield. But let me give you this one. I'm going to give you one stat before I go. I know you guys you're getting close up to the break. Will Howard is 0-3 against Texas. All three of those starts came at Kansas State. His first start, by the way, was in 2020. If that tells you anything. But so Will Howard's 0-3 against Texas. This year, Will Howard has thrown 9 interceptions. 4 of them have been to the opposition's number 7. Well, number 7 for Texas just won the Thorpe Award. I think Jahdae Barron plays maybe his best game at Texas, and we see exactly why he's the Thorpe Award winner. This Texas defense gets it done, and Texas finds a way to win.
Bob, I want to credit your producer for digging that one up because I know that's way too deep for you to come up with on your own. So whoever is providing that info to you, well done. Pass along the attaboys.
That is Billy Ballou. He is my twin, my nemesis. Mm-hmm. I can't stand him, but he goes and finds these things, and I don't know how he does it.
Mm-hmm.
Jason, Bob Ballou is a nerd.
All right? Trust me, I've known him a long time.
He's in the books more than anybody I've ever seen, so I trust that Bob came up with that himself. Well done, Bob.
You know what's hilarious? We do a segment with a former Longhorn, just like breaking down a few plays, and I saw this interception by a Michigan player against him, and it was number 7, and I was like, wow, that kind of looked like Jahdae a little bit, just the number 7, whatever. And then I was like starting to go through Will Howard's picks, and the next one was like against Nebraska, and he threw it to number 7. And then the next one was the Penn State pick 6. That was to number 7. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So I started going through them all, and I found one more. But yeah, it's pretty funny.
Have you made your prop bet on that yet? That number 7's going to get an INT?
That's a great prop bet. Now, as you know, I wouldn't gamble on the team I cover.
No,
but,
of course not.
I'm just trying to help some people out in case they want.
We got you.
You know, Bob, I will bet on the team that you cover, and that's why I thought that 6 points was way too much. I'm taking Texas with the points, my friend.
I love it. Dude, just run that money line, Joe. If you want to make some real money, run that money line.
All right. You're confident.
Are you kidding? He's gone to Dallas, but he's packed for 10 days because they're at CBS in Austin. They make him drive everywhere, so they're going to leave Dallas and drive straight to Atlanta.
Straight to Atlanta. We're not even stopping at the house. We're just going straight to Atlanta.
Straight to Atlanta. Straight to Atlanta.
Have fun, Bob.
I love it. Will do, guys. We'll talk to you next week as we get ready for the national title.
There you go.
Awesome.
The great Bob Ballou from KI Television on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond online at buyersbarricades.com. Of course, the game Friday night, Texas, Ohio State. Thursday night, the Orange Bowl, Notre Dame, Penn State. Listen to both games right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, starting at 6 o'clock right after the Blitz. Brought to you by the Break Room Bar in Live Oak, Ewald Kubota, and Smoky Moe's Barbecue.
Absolutely, and you can take your radio and watch the TV at the Golf Club of Texas. You can do that, and it's the best of both worlds right there. Seriously, the Golf Club of Texas is your football watching headquarters. Whether it's the college football playoffs Thursday and Friday or the NFL playoffs Saturday, Sunday, and Monday night, the Golf Club of Texas is the place to go. A lot of reasons why. There are TVs all over the place. Not going to be a bad seat in the house. The food there at the Tin Cup is fantastic. They've got specials out there every day that there is a football game on. They've also got drink specials out there as well. And I tell you what, I know it's a little chilly, but the sun is supposed to come out, at least for my little handy-dandy weather app, on Saturday. So make your tea time early on Saturday and then stick around at the Golf Club of Texas and watch some NFL playoff football. It's the perfect place to do that. And look, if you haven't been out to the Golf Club of Texas lately, you haven't been out there. They have made so many improvements to that golf course. It is unbelievable. Looks like a country club. It's not. Open to the public 7 days a week. It is a fantastic place to go. And look, you know exactly where it is. Easy to get to. It's right there off Briggs Ranch Road, off Highway 90. Whether it's for dinner at the Tin Cup, you want to play around with your buddies, your next tournament, go check them out. Best rates are always online at golfclubtexas.com. That's golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas is the friendliest golf course in Texas.
Riding I-35 with the Blitz. Sportstar.com.
Are you an oblivious person hogging the sidewalk like a large dying snail? Do people stuck behind you ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should go to Mattress Firm. They have tons of quality beds at every price. So anyone, even
Hey guys, it's AJ from the Morning Huddle. Between us, when you hit a certain age, things start to feel a little off, right? You're tired all the time, your energy's low, maybe even your drive isn't what it used to be. And a lot of that comes down to testosterone, and trust me, it can happen to the best of us. That's where Game Day Men's Health comes in. They know how we feel, and they make it easy. Game Day Men's Health is over there on Bassey Road, across from the quarry. Their office has a relaxed man cave vibe, and they've built a 3-step process that's quick and designed just for us. First, get your T levels checked. Free testosterone test at their in-house lab. Then, you meet with a licensed provider to create a customized plan. And finally, you'll get those fast weekly treatments. After a month, you're going to notice a difference. More energy, better mood, and a kick in your libido. Don't settle. Be the best version of yourself. Call Game Day Men's Health, 210-900-3691. That's 210-900-3691. Feel better, be better at Game Day.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
Well, the NFL is paying attention to the devastation out in the Los Angeles areas with the wildfires. NFL says it's monitoring that situation because of the potential impact on Monday night's wildcard playoff game between the Vikings and the Rams there at SoFi Stadium. Dallas Cowboys have denied permission to the Chicago Bears to interview head coach Mike McCarthy. McCarthy's contract set to expire next Wednesday.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Mike. What day is it, Mike? Hump day.
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 Hump day. Here we go.
Hump day.
Yeah.
I love that camel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah.
Love that guy.
He's Toe Reinagel.
Best
I'm
commercial on TV.
Jason Minix. Here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Glad to have you along. First Wednesday of the new year. Joe's a little out of sync on this because the last couple of weeks, well, it's been a holiday on a Wednesday, and we haven't been here.
Well, I've been hump daying, though, on a Wednesday. I mean, come on. I wake up, hump day.
That's
Hump
not what I thought you
day.
meant.
Well, that's my victory yell. Hump day.
Hump
They're going to
day.
make me a pot pie.
Pie.
Probably called up Caitlin.
Oh, that was creepy.
Yes.
I like that you're here.
A pot pie?
You ever heard that?
No, I mean, I think
Come on, honey.
most people want a sandwich.
Get in the kitchen and make me a chicken pot pie.
A sandwich.
No, I love chicken pot pies. You don't like chicken pot pie?
I prefer the beef pot pie.
Nah, chicken for me.
How often do you have a pot pie?
You know what's funny about
Here
that
we
is
go.
that when I was out in California, we went to a restaurant. They actually had a chicken pot pie on the menu.
Really?
And I got it.
Where
It
you
was
at?
pretty damn
Marie
good.
Callender's?
No.
Oh.
I can't remember the name of the place.
It's just a random place
It was
in
a random place there.
Sacramento.
I was like, hey, they got a chicken fried steak on the menu.
They had a chicken.
chicken. They had a chicken pot pie on the menu. I don't think they had a chicken fried steak. And I wouldn't eat a chicken fried steak in California anyway.
Why?
It's California. What the hell do they know about a chicken fried steak?
What do they know about a chicken pot pie?
Well, they must know something because it was pretty good.
Well, so I imagine their chicken fried steak there is pretty good.
Not in California,
You
dude.
don't know that.
Come on.
Does it matter you put ketchup on it?
Yeah, well dude, you don't order a chicken fried steak in California. That'd be like going up there to, I don't know, Idaho and ordering an enchilada plate. You just don't do it.
That part I agree with.
Yeah.
My sister-in-law was in town the other day, last weekend, and there's Mexican food every day because,
Of course.
you know.
Because this is the place to get that.
Well, Washington State, not the same.
Or Idaho.
Or Idaho.
Or Idaho.
Yeah. We're all in the fifth grade.
I love that joke.
You're a dumb butt.
You're right, Coach.
You really are, Joe.
You're right, Coach.
Yep.
I can't argue with you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my goodness.
So you wouldn't eat a chicken fried steak in California?
I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't do it. I'd go to maybe like Oklahoma or New Mexico or maybe even Arizona. They might have a good chicken fried steak. But anywhere north of that, I'm not having that.
All right. I mean, you could, but
We could.
I realized today that Reinagel is an extremely picky eater. Now, I've known this for a long time, but I also know that Reinagel loves beef jerky. So, you know, that Axis deer that I shot not long ago, I had some jerky made out of that, brought some in to share because I'm a nice guy. Joe won't even try it.
I don't want to try it.
You have no idea how good this is.
I'm sure it's delicious, and
But-
for
but
everybody.
but you
that's-
won't try it.
I know.
You
What I
wanna-
want, it's an axis.
Yes.
Give me a cow.
Dude, I'm telling you. And you're worried that it's going to be gamey.
It's going to be gamey.
This is not gamey at all.
It's gamey.
And
you told me the same thing about gizzards.
No, I never told you that about gizzards.
You did. You said they're delicious.
I did. I like gizzards, but I know they're not for everybody. This, if I didn't tell you it was from a deer, you would not know.
Well, I probably wouldn't. It's like the first time I tried a bison steak.
Uh-huh.
And it was delicious.
Have you had bison since?
No, but I haven't had the opportunity. I can't wait to get to the Roo Pub and try their bison burger.
The bison burger there at the Roo Pub is fantastic.
Yeah, have you had it?
Yeah, and
right.
we'll be there next Monday, the 20th, for the national championship game.
Awesome.
Doing the Blitz live, so I imagine bison burger is going to be your lunch that day.
I will try it. Yes.
But I think anybody that knows if you're getting a deer. Axis is the top of the line.
I'm sure it is.
But the fact that you wouldn't even try a bite of it just kind of blew me away. Everybody else here, you got Axis, man. I got to fend them off. And
well, I knew what it was because I knew that you wouldn't have that. I knew that you shot the Axis, which is fine. Look, that's why I'm not a huge hunter.
I'm
not opposed to anybody that is. I think it's a great, but I just don't like wild game meat like that.
But in jerky, I mean, it's one thing if you don't want the steaks or the burgers. I think tonight for dinner we're having some of the ground in tacos.
Oh yeah, well,
because even my wife, who was a very I'm not sure about this.
She liked it.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
I mean,
well, she better learn to like it. You got a freezer full of it,
dude. I have.
She didn't have a choice.
You don't think about how much 160 pounds of meat is until it shows up in 3 big old boxes and you're trying to figure out freezer space.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy for you. You see, you have no issues with what you're going to have to eat for the next, 3-4 months.
True.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, you would like this.
I'm sure I will.
If I thought you wouldn't like it, I wouldn't offer it up because, I don't want to waste it. But you would like this.
I'm sure I would. I'll cut a piece off later.
Peer pressure is wonderful.
I know, right?
Thought we were going to have to get a new poll up.
I've always liked my meat big. This is all true. Very true. That's big enough.
Josh Jimenez says, "It ain't wild game meat, Joe. Be real. You don't want to. You don't like hunting because it's outdoors and you would get dirty."
Dude, I have no problem getting dirty, Joshua. Come on. Now, I don't want to sit in a deer blind at 5 o'clock in the morning and freeze my ass off.
Neither do I.
But other than that,
drive around in a Jeep.
I have
find
no
one,
issue.
track it, take it down, go back to the cabin, drink beer.
And all of that is great, but I'd have to give the meat away because I don't like it.
Again, some of it you would need to try it to see if you like it.
Well, I've tried just regular deer meat, and I don't like it.
And again, but maybe it was just the way that one was prepared. First time I had deer meat, I didn't like it either. And then I had some that was prepared completely different. I'm like, man, that's good. And then there's other things like the different sausages and whatnot. Like, it's incredible.
I loved to go dove hunting.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But I hate dove meat. I mean,
it's just not enough.
Well, it's not, but it's
but
really.
When you go chicken hunting, you have no problem eating that.
As long as I get a big old breast.
Thought you were a leg man.
Well, I am a leg man in humans, but in chickens, it's breast. I like them big old breastises.
Do you now?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
On chickens. I need more meat between my buns.
Just chicken.
Well, what else? Turkey's got some big old breasts, too.
Not what I meant.
Yeah, I know.
Not what I meant.
I'm a leg guy. Legs.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer them.
Like drumsticks?
Sure. I mentioned we have a guest here today.
Why, you getting a little embarrassed?
No, not really. But I mean,
seem like
you know.
you're getting embarrassed. We got over 100,000 guests that are listening in right now.
That's,
So yeah,
that's true, but
that's fine.
None of them are staring at me when I say big old breastises.
Yeah. She is giving you the look.
I'm telling you. Very, very sweet young lady, by the way.
She's trying to figure out if she really wants to be in this business.
I think we have
These 4
deterred
hours
her.
will have a major impact on a career life decision.
Well, you know, what's interesting is that she wants to go into the like sideline reporting area and that kind of stuff. So, but the good news is to have a fallback, because we know somebody that's very close to her who used to do exactly what we're doing.
That's the connection, which is why she is here. It's an advantage she has over a lot of the competition out there for this. And
That's
been
right.
talking to her, like a lot of her friends are going to nursing school or want to be teachers, and she wants nothing to do with either one of those.
But she doesn't want to work for a living. She wants to go into sports broadcasting.
Don't give away the secret. But yeah.
Just saying.
Yes, we're in the toy department.
Yes,
so
we are.
That's what I mean. Nursing? No, that's gross.
Nursing?
Yes.
Well, your wife does that.
I know, and I don't want to hear the stories at dinner. We have a rule now.
Well, I don't blame you.
Your daughter.
My daughter is a nurse.
My niece. I don't need to hear stories, man. I'm glad they do what they do, but I couldn't do it.
There's no way I can do that.
And Lord knows you couldn't be a teacher.
There is no way in hell I could be a teacher.
No.
I would. I'd end up in jail.
You're a dumb butt.
I mean, even
in
being
jail?
In jail, I'd kill somebody.
Okay. I'm glad you went that direction.
Damn kids running around and smarting off and.
You kids get off my lawn!
Exactly right.
There we go.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com will join us coming up around 4:35. You know, we had the Pro Bowl announcements made. The All-Pro list is what really matters. Now the Players Association puts out their Players All-Pro list. It's very interesting. We'll dive into that coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
South Texas College football headquarters is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
And the most wonderful time of the year for fans. Bowl season is no exception. The biggest and best matchups this bowl season are brought to you by Ewald Kubota, the Break Room Bar, and Smoky Mo's Barbecue. Hear them all on South Texas' first and only FM sports station, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Hi there, I'm John O'Hurley. You know our pets are beloved family members. But sadly, though, there are so many dogs that get euthanized every day due to the lack of funding. To give them a chance at adoption, I invite you to support Puppy Food Bank. Thanks to generous donors like you, all of the food sent to pet shelters from Puppy Food Bank never comes with a bill. So please go to puppyfoodbank.org and make a generous, caring $15 donation every month. Your donation will absolutely save pet lives.
Paid for by Hims & Hers Health. Hims & Hers Weight Loss is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Restrictions at 4hers.com apply. Wegovy and Ozempic are not compounded.
With Hers, you can access doctor-trusted weight loss plans, like compounded GLP-1 weekly injections with the same active ingredient as Ozempic and Wegovy. Based on pricing through Hers, save up to 91% per month with compounded semaglutide, the same active ingredient as the name brand drug. Get started at 4hers.com/start today. That's 4hers.com/start.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
My wife and I always loved doing everything together. Jiu-jitsu, kayaking, and intimacy was always on point. It was around my early 30s when I noticed a downward trend. Watching a lot of TV, putting on weight, and just full of self-doubt. I had tried another men's clinic with disappointing results. It's the personalized treatment I receive at Revive Men's Health that has been the complete game changer for me. I've got my energy and motivation back, I'm feeling stronger than I did in my 20s, and it made me a much better husband to my wife.
I'm Nicole Chrysler, healthcare provider at Revive Men's Health. If you are always feeling tired or moody, have a difficult time sleeping, or decreased libido, you may be suffering from low testosterone.
Book your free T-check and exam. Call Revive Men's Health San Antonio at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
And Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. On Twitter, Instagram, at Joe Reinagel 210. Tweet at me, at Jason Minix. The station, at SA Sports Star. You know, on my Twitter feed right now, a lot of highlights from the All-American Bowl practice, the Navy All-American Bowl. And I'm loving all the San Antonio kids that are shining in practice, whether you're looking at Jordan Clay over at from Madison High School, Jalen Cooper's from Steele High School. They've added a kid from East Central, Cade Sprodling, the quarterback from Smithson Valley. He's going to be a linebacker in the game. He played for Smithson Valley and wins a state championship. Started at linebacker, started at quarterback. He's in the game, but it's Michael Terry from Alamo Heights. A lot of San Antonio guys this weekend in the Navy All-American Bowl, which you can listen to Saturday starting at noon and then followed at 5 o'clock by the San Antonio Sports All-Star Game presented by Valero. But, man, Saturday is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a great day of high school football, which is nice, and it's always a nice cherry on top to the season to have both of those games here in San Antonio. So looking forward to it.
And weather's going to be perfect inside the Alamo Dome.
Yes, it is.
For the Navy All-American Bowl. And I know I'm partial as you're wearing the Army-Navy pullover from this year's Army-Navy game.
Yep.
The new logo, the new gear looks fantastic.
I'm sure it does.
I like the Navy influence for this game. And, again, you think about the stars that have played in this game in years past, whether you're talking about a C.J. Stroud, you look at a Micah Parsons, but even like this weekend in the Thursday, Friday in the playoff games, the number of players in these Final Four that were here in San Antonio. So Saturday, go to the Dome.
You never know what next NFL superstar you're going to see.
Well, and again, because of NIL and because of the recruiting aspect, the way it goes now, when they do that autograph session at the end of the game, you might have a pretty good idea who's going to be a stud and who isn't. So always a lot of fun, but just seeing all the different highlights rolling through, it's a pretty good deal. And won't be long when you think about, I don't know, the last 4 number 1 overall picks played in this game, almost 100 Super Bowl winners, 20 Heisman finalists, 6 Heisman winners, the number of Pro Bowlers. And you think about the Pro Bowls, All Pro, what really matters is All Pro, not Pro Bowl in the player's mind. The NFLPA has come up with the players All Pro. So they came out, had all the players make their votes. So not media, not coaches, not a fan vote to get somebody in. This is the players. And who knows more than their peers? So you think about, all right, this one carries a lot of weight. Now, it doesn't say how many players actually voted, right? I don't know that, but I would imagine a good portion of the players voted. And so when you think about who's going to be MVP this year, according to the players, the quarterback, Lamar Jackson.
Well, I mean, his stats certainly would justify that. I don't think there's any question about it. I tell you what, I think it's a travesty that Joe Burrow is not being mentioned more as MVP. I get that they didn't make the playoffs, and that goes a long way, but that guy had, to me, is his best season as a quarterback, as a pro, and it really is. Should be mentioned. Then you got Josh Allen, but it would not surprise me if Lamar Jackson wins it again.
For a third time, I look at what Saquon did this year and think, man, there's your MVP. But
how about Derrick Henry?
You do. I mean, he would be in that conversation, but Saquon went over 2,000 yards.
He did.
And if it wasn't for the tush push, would probably have about 10 more touchdowns. But I do pay attention to what players say, and they say Lamar Jackson. Tight end, Brock Bowers, the rookie from the Raiders. So no bias that, a rookie can't be on this team. And it also tells you it's not a popularity vote. It's not voting for your friends. It's what do the players really think. The two wide receivers, Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson.
I totally agree with that, although I think CeeDee Lamb could somehow squeeze in there. He had a hell of a year.
He did, but
how do you argue with Chase and Jefferson?
His peers, there's not a second team, but
Yeah.
the peers, they put those two. Saquon, the running back, offensive lineman, nobody from the Dallas Cowboys, not a surprise. On the defense, maybe a little bit of a surprise here. Your interior, Jalen Carter and Chris Jones. Your edge rushers, Trey Hendrickson from Cincinnati and Myles Garrett. Nose tackle, Dexter Lawrence. Linebackers, Roquan Smith, Fred Warner. I don't see Micah's name anywhere.
No, but I mean, how do you argue with the two that you just mentioned? Although I'm not sure Fred Warner had the kind of season that Fred Warner is used to on that San Francisco defense.
I mean, again, you go with the players. Safeties, Kyle Hamilton and Xavier McKinney, Pat Surtain, and Derek Stingley Jr. of the Houston Texans.
How about that?
Special teamers, the kicker.
Brandon Aubrey?
No.
Chris
Boswell.
Wow. See, that to me,
right?
It's got to be Aubrey.
Logan Cook is the punter. Marvin Mims, the punt returner. Kick returner, Kevontae Turpin.
And I can see that. Absolutely. I hate to disagree with the players, but how is Brandon Aubrey not your kicker? Now, truth be told, I haven't seen Boswell's numbers, but Brandon Aubrey's about as automatic as they come.
Exactly. I mean, I was surprised when I saw that Chris Boswell. I thought for sure that would be Brandon Aubrey. There's some on this, so you could say hard to argue and then try to make your argument. But again, players are voting from across the league, and one Texan, one Cowboy makes it, but the one Cowboy is a return guy, not a CeeDee Lamb, but it wasn't, man, Zach Martin, he's great. I'm going to vote for him. No, he didn't have a good year. He's not on there.
Not at all.
And you can't say that they're biased towards rookies because you have Brock Bowers on there. When you think about some of the tight ends in the league,
Bowers had a hell of a year.
He did. He had an incredible year. But, again, when you think about the popularity vote, hell, Travis Kelce had a down year, but still is a Pro Bowler.
Yeah. Well, sure.
He is. I mean, he is. I mean, that's a fact. He was named to the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Right? And he didn't have a Pro Bowl type season.
I don't think he did either. Now, he came on strong late, but, yeah, for a full season, not at all. I'm a Swiftie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, you get the fan vote in there, and that certainly factors in. I find it interesting. So when you look at it and you start thinking about the MVP race, now I believe all the postseason awards voting is already done. So this list won't have any influence on those that have a vote, how they would vote. But it is interesting to see that they've got Lamar Jackson as the quarterback. So if another quarterback wins MVP, how that factors in, or even Saquon Barkley. But the MVP award, and I don't know why they don't just call it this goes to the quarterback on the best team, because that's what that award has turned into.
Well, it has, but Patrick Mahomes is not going to win that,
No.
and Jared Goff is not going to win it. Those are the two best teams, at least seeding-wise, right now. So they're not going to – look, I think Josh Allen's going to win it. And I say that not necessarily does he deserve it over Lamar Jackson, but I don't think voters are into giving something 3 times in a row. And that's going to be an issue. Fair or not fair, I think that's going to be an issue. It's just like nobody wants to, except Kansas City Chiefs fans, want to see the Chiefs win 3 Super Bowls in a row. Never been done before, but I think you're going to see a lot of people, whoever the Chiefs are playing in the Super Bowl, if they happen to make it that far, is going to be the darling of the United States.
If it's Detroit, I agree with you. If it's Philadelphia, no, I'd rather see Kansas City win 17 in a row than Philadelphia get 1. But Kansas City, they are starting to get that. I'm tired of them, the fatigue with that. But I do think there are some out there, and I'm kind of in this boat. I want to see Detroit win it just because I love the story. But to three-peat in the NFL seems so unlikely to happen.
It's never happened before.
It's never happened before. I would like to see something like that, but at the same time, the number of Super Bowls that I've been to, and I'd have to go count them up, feels like it's either New England or Kansas City in all of them.
Yeah.
I would like to have different teams in there. But it always felt like forever it was always New England, and now it feels like it's always Kansas City.
And what does that tell you? The best quarterback, and you could argue the best head coach.
Yep.
Whether it's Bill Belichick or Andy Reid. And Andy Reid is getting to that legendary status if he's not there already. And again, I said, and I've said this before, but I'll say it again. I think people don't appreciate what they're seeing. They don't appreciate it. You're seeing history in the making with Kansas City, but everybody's rooting against them. I get it, but I think sometimes we need to take a step back and appreciate what's going on and what's happening and the specialness of Patrick Mahomes and his relationship with his head coach.
We will talk some Cowboys football, get the latest on Mike McCarthy. RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com joins us next here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
First, I want to brag about my Connecticut quality water softener. I love this thing. It's been in my house for a while now, and it really is a game changer, and I didn't think it would be. I was like, what could be the difference? There's a huge difference. And I promise you, you can tell the difference right away. A Connecticut quality water softener just does so many more things than just a regular water softener. This thing, my clothes are better. You get out of the shower, you just feel cleaner. The dishes look cleaner. Everything is better with a Connecticut quality water softener. And the thing I love about it is you don't plug it in. You don't have to worry about the power going off because it doesn't run on electricity, but it does provide soft water 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's got the best warranty in the business. You're not going to find a more solid warranty in the industry, and you're going to have that peace of mind knowing that Connecticut stands behind all of its products. And right now, they've got one heck of a deal for you. For a limited time, you're going to receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station installed right there at your kitchen sink. It's incredible. $400 off with trade-in of your old water softener. That's what Connecticut's offering. And they're also offering 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. You don't want to wait on this. This offer will end soon. So give Connecticut of San Antonio and the Hill Country a call. The number to call, 656-PURE, 656-7873. You can also check them out at ConnecticutSA.com. And when you check them out, when you give them a call, just let them know your old buddy Joe sent you. Will you do that?
The Morning Huddle.
What happened to your beard?
I lost it. dude.
He used the wrong card.
Look away. Look away. I'm hideous. Look away.
Don't look at my face.
Look away. I didn't realize I had this right here. Yeah. This little wobble.
You can play it like a guitar.
The Morning Huddle with AJ and Rob. Weekday mornings 6 to 10. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
George gets justice. After being hit by an 18-wheeler, the experienced attorneys of George Salinas Injury Lawyers are San Antonio's choice for getting you the maximum compensation you deserve. With over 110 years of combined experience, they've recovered millions for their clients. 18-wheelers may be bigger than you on the road, but you can be bigger than them in the courtroom. George guarantees that you don't pay unless they win your case. Call 210-225-0909 today for a free consultation. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-230-2777. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-230-2777. That's 800-230-2777. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-230-2777. 800-230-2777.
Hey, Manny Jr. here with Rock's Discount Vitamins. This holiday season, don't let those extra pounds sneak up on you. We have the largest selection of weight control products to help you stay on track. Boost your metabolism with our non-stimulant fat burners, or try Cuts, which helps your carbs work for you, not against you. With 12 locations across San Antonio, Rock's Discount Vitamins has everything you need to keep your diet in check this holiday season. Find us at rocksdiscountvitamins.com. We thank God and you for your continued support.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and switch to the expensive shampoo with amino acids. Sure, you don't know what those are or why you need them, but it sounds very impressive. And if you switch and save hundreds, you can massage it into your scalp every day. Now, if only you can get people to lean toward your head to smell those aminos. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For shampoo. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-2706. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-2706. That's 800-575-2706.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Pizza craving? We've got you covered at Round Table Pizza. We've been crafting pizzas with premium, high-quality ingredients for over 60 years. From our made-from-scratch dough to our savory toppings piled all the way to the edge. Find your nearest location or order delivery at roundtablepizza.com.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jay Semenix. Let's talk to a man who knows all about being strung along during contract negotiations. The great RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com joining us on the Buyers Barricades guest line. RJ, I'm going to assume you're not surprised with what has happened since Sunday involving the Cowboys and their head coach.
It's great to be with you all. Happy New Year. I can't decide if you guys are hot or cold because you have jackets on, but you've rolled the sleeves up. It's an oxymoron, but that's something for you to deal with, not me. This is really sad and pathetic. I mean, and that's saying something for the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, this is the most Tinkerbellification, I need applause or I will die, scream out for attention, love, admiration, any kind of, click you can give the Dallas Cowboys. They are proving that is the bottom line for them and nothing else.
Well, look, I'm with you there in a lot of ways, but here's the thing. I've got to believe that Mike McCarthy and Jerry Jones have come to some sort of an agreement. And the reason I say that, RJ, even Jerry Jones knows what a PR disaster it would be if come January 14th and Mike McCarthy's gone and he didn't allow him the opportunity to go talk to the Chicago Bears or anybody else.
Yeah, well, it's funny you say PR disaster in January 14th because if you're unaware, that's the 1-year anniversary of last season's playoff.
We're all aware because we follow you on Twitter.
You, Joe, from a logic-based perspective, but I mean, like, just think about where we're at right now. The best case scenario is the owner, general manager, president, grand supreme overlord, Sith leader, and Mike McCarthy, the head coach, have an agreement that they're going to string along the world and let the man be hung out to dry and the A block for every show in the world, wondering whether he's good or a buffoon. And they're all in cahoots on this. Like that's the best case scenario here. I mean, what a sad reality for not just a professional football team, but a corporation, a company, people with an objective to accomplish a goal.
If Mike McCarthy is on board with that, that would surprise me. Although I could see, since the hay is in the barn and we all got redneck education and learned what that means, his decision was already made. Now, I will say this, though. If you're Jerry Jones, follow me here, and I know I'm defending Jerry Jones here, even though I think he's totally wrong in all of this. And I heard on ESPN radio today, although I haven't really seen this anywhere else, that the contract actually expires today, but there's an exclusive negotiating window through the 14th in the contract. Either way, Jerry has exclusive rights to negotiate with Mike McCarthy through January 14th. Even though he said he would let Mike McCarthy go talk to somebody, why would he negotiate against somebody else if they are having negotiations? And I say that if length of the deal, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, or the back and forth he had with James Slater from the NFL Network on Sunday afternoon about an incentive-based contract, if they are negotiating, why would you allow the Bears to get into that mix if you have an exclusive window, just from a business standpoint?
Well, I appreciate that you put on a hazmat suit to wade this deep into the rabbit hole of Jerry Jones's potential logic. I guess if I'm wandering with you, I would offer that even if that were the case, right? Like, even if the goal were to, let me get a great business decision or whatever, let me save money, even though money is not a factor here relative to the success of the football team. No salary cap or anything. There's no penalty to paying Mike McCarthy or a number of years on his deal. Like they have with basically every important player on their football team, they have surrendered all negotiating power to Mike McCarthy, like they did Dak Prescott, they did CeeDee Lamb, because Mike McCarthy now can undisputably say, I have another interested party, the Chicago Bears. They want to talk to me. And so you have to up your offer, whether it's 2 years, 3 years, whether it's incentive-based, whatever the case may be. And like with Dak Prescott, they would have been wise if they really were this financially shrewd. And I it sounds like you don't. I hope you don't really believe this, Jason. But if they really were, then they would have obviously given him the extension last year, because that would have been when they could have lowballed him, right? They could have said, dude, look, we're doing you a solid, man. Like, you just got whooped up by the Packers, so we're going to go ahead and give you this now. Like they could have given Dak Prescott an extension 2 years ago when he was coming off of the interception-laden season, but they didn't do that. So, unfortunately, all general signs of logic point to the idea that they're just this dumb and this incompetent and this lazy.
Okay, let me play devil's advocate, RJ, because I know you love that.
That wasn't devil's advocate. I'm interested to hear what is.
Well, I'm just saying. Well, this is part two then.
All right.
Well, Jerry's pissed because Mike McCarthy has said, "I'm not coming back. I don't want to be here. I'm going to leave. when my contract is up, I don't want to be here anymore. And that's why Jerry said, well, then we're not going to let you go talk to the Chicago Bears or anybody else until that contract is gone.
I mean, I guess if that were the case, then we need to see how much of a man of his word Mike McCarthy is. And that would, in that part 2 situation, give Mike even more leverage. I mean, look, I thought Dominique Foxworth said it best. You mentioned ESPN Radio. He said it on ESPN yesterday. I don't fully believe in Mike McCarthy, to be very clear here. I think he's been given a raw deal. I think we all agree the front office has done nothing to help him, but they have actually been so incompetent that they have forced me out of being a person of reason to cape for the man. I am charging. I'm the person at the front line. You know what I mean? Back in the old school, military days, when they would play the drums and crap. That's who I am, running out in the name of Mike McCarthy, because this is so stupid. And I wouldn't blame Mike. I mean, he doesn't, unlike Jason Garrett, and all due respect to him, he doesn't need the Cowboys. Mike has won a Super Bowl. Mike has a Hall of Fame case. Whether he'll get in or not is ultimately a different discussion. Mike has climbed the peak of this game. The Cowboys, they reside at the ground floor. And nothing that the Cowboys do or say in the public can change the fact that Mike McCarthy's won a Super Bowl and the Cowboys are floating in the wind.
RJ Ochoa, bloggingtheboys.com, joining us here on the Blitz. All the discussion is centered around Mike McCarthy and his future. No conversations in the media, and it's not near sexy enough. But what about Zimmer? What about Fossil? Because what about the weight room guys, the strength staff? From what I understand, everybody, their contract is expiring soon, but nobody's requested to talk to Mike Zimmer that we've heard about, or Fossil, or any of these other guys.
Yeah, I do think that that's an interesting point. Now, you mentioned Jane. She had a great line about Zimmer that he is doing some soul searching. So I think it is still a little, out of the barn on whether or not he just wants to coach, period, whether that's for the Cowboys or anything else. Obviously, he'd been out of the game for a little while before returning this past season. And I think that that's an important piece of context here because, look, I'm not going to pretend or assume to know anything about Mike Zimmer and his personal life, but if he really is contemplating, is this worth it or not? And then you open your work email or your work Twitter account or whatever, and it's filled with all this stupid narrative stuff. You're like, man, these are some childish, petty games that I don't have time for. If I'm going to do this, I want to do it in a real adult way. And I think that examining the familial aspects of all of this is really important. These are people's lives. I understand that the Cowboys have a bottom line that is attention-seeking and driving magnitude around their name because they're not playing this weekend, not even in their own building if that game's still going to go on Friday, the one that Texas fraudulently got into.
Wow.
But that being said, imagine being John Fossil's wife or his children or his, brother-in-law or whoever. You know what I mean? This is really cruel. I do find it interesting that nobody has requested Fossil. He has garnered head coach interviews in the past. I'm interested in the fact that Al Harris hasn't gotten an interview, given that he's obviously been a hot name. But some of that might be on the secondary level that new staffs have yet to obviously be finalized with teams looking just for head coaches right now.
Now RJ, while you were answering that, Clarence Hill Jr., with All City Dallas now, just tweeted out, Cowboys assistant coaches are officially free agents. Those that want to continue to work can and be paid as at-will employees. All coaches out of the office until Monday.
Look, I'm not pedantic enough to sit here and say that in not doing work on the 2025 season between now and Monday, the Cowboys are losing ground, right, to the, pick who you want, the Bengals or the Falcons. But think about this. This is now inhibiting their ability to be competitive as a franchise, even if on a microscopic level, because now you don't even know. You're Micah Parsons, you're Deron Bland. Who do you text these guys? Do you talk to them? It's ridiculous. It's absurd. And if you are going to be in the market for a head coach, all these dudes are doing all these interviews with all these other teams right now. And more than that, they're watching the way that you're dogging Mike McCarthy. They're watching the way that you're embarrassing this man. This is more than just treating him poorly. This is embarrassing him in the court of, you're making him the gesture for everybody to point and laugh and gawk at. And everybody has a price and somebody will take the job, but who wants that? I mean, it's more than being a bad football team right now. You're bordering on being bad people.
Well, and I totally agree with that. And if you're talking about a head coach, and Al Harris may be the best you can get if you're going to part ways with Mike McCarthy. And I'm not saying that's a bad get. Maybe he turns out to be a great head coach. But anybody with any resume, why would they want to come to Dallas? I mean, honestly, why would you want to come to Dallas, number one, and put up with a general manager who I'm not going to say. I mean, he did a horrible job this year, but he's put together some. He put together some teams in the past, including the team last year that was a number 2 seed that was dismal in the playoffs. But I just don't understand anybody with a resume, RJ. Sincerely, why would they come to Dallas unless Jerry Jones opens a pocketbook and pays them $20 million a year?
I think that's the reason, or sometimes you don't know if you're going to get another head coaching opportunity, right? Not everybody's Ben Johnson. This might be your only shot, and you have to take it. And obviously, coaching for the Cowboys comes with a stage and comes with some notoriety that you can ride some coattails of. Maybe you can work in television afterwards, or whatever the case may be. But you said something, Joe, that I've kind of been thinking about a lot lately. You referred to Jerry as the general manager. In my postgame show that I do in the Bleacher Report app this past Sunday, obviously the last one for a long time, somebody said, I love Jerry the owner. I just hate Jerry the general manager. And I put it to you guys, like, what does Jerry the owner even do well? Like, we have delineated a difference between the two of them, like there is one. But Jerry the owner is kind of cheap too. Jerry the owner won't put up the curtains. Jerry the owner stirs the pot and fights with radio hosts. Like, what element of what Jerry Jones is doing right now, whether it's the owner, the president, the general manager, is helping the function of the football team?
Well, he makes money.
Well, and look, there are so many bad owners out there. They're just not as front and center as Jerry Jones. I mean, when you think about, I don't know, Woody Johnson and the way he runs the Jets, Tepper in Carolina, the dude in Jacksonville, Irsay in Indianapolis, there are a lot of eccentric and bad owners out there that meddle. They just don't get near the attention as Jerry Jones. And let's remember, there's only 32 of these jobs in the world, and the Cowboys are the number 1 franchise. There's a lot of reasons to take that job. It's just all being a part of the circus, and Jerry knows it.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're willing to eat crap, you know what I mean? Like, the hand of the king.
Yeah, but it's Wagyu crap, so, I mean, it's worth it.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, the hand of the king gets to sit up in the royal court. You know what I'm saying? But the hand of the king has to do a lot of things to hold that position. I know you guys haven't watched Game of Thrones because you're all focused on Yellowstone or Landman or whatever it is these days. Good luck with that. I didn't know that was a real thing until Jerry was on it, which again is the point of frustration. This is, I mean,
it was great.
It was great. And you should watch Landman.
Yeah, like that was some, like, serious stuff. I mean, real talk. But that's where, like, it is quite literally my job to have a pulse of the Cowboys fan base. And I think you both know me well enough to think that I'm fairly good at that. This is the least that people have ever cared in my life. I mean, not just my professional life. And it's because of the way they're acting. It's more, again, than just
let me ask you a question there. As you say that, and I don't want to get too into the weeds or too personal. You say they don't care. For us, the interaction is actually up. For you, on your website, comments, interactions, are they up or are they down?
I'll say this week is extremely up. But
so don't tell me you don't care.
But that's because now it's the circus. Throughout the season, this was among the lowest interaction relative to the football production of things because nobody cares about the football team anymore. This is the Real Housewives, man. This is Traitors Season 3, which premieres on Friday, and you guys are pumped like I am. I mean, like, this is just a reality show. And that's where, like, I actually think – I've realized that I think even less of the Eagles than I did before because they walk so tall for beating this team and being better than them. And it's like, man, if you're trying this hard to be better than this team and then they're barely trying, like, what's that really say about you guys? You should be, playing laps around them on a yearly basis. So I think more than ever, maybe the best way to put it is that people see the forest through the trees and people know that football isn't the bottom line.
Well, let me just say this, and this is in defense of Jerry Jones. This year was a
again. Goodness gracious, Joe, and you're leafing 25.
This was a disaster of a season. Last year, RJ, it's very hard to argue that Jerry Jones didn't put a quality football team on the field. And this team came in with everything, and everything played out perfectly for the Dallas Cowboys. And it was the players and Mike McCarthy who pooped the bed, not Jerry Jones.
I think that's a great point, Joe. I mean, Jerry had nothing to do with the playoff disaster against the Green Bay Packers. You're absolutely right. And I think if you're trying to make any deduction on what changed, right, because to your point, they fielded a great roster in 23. What was the ultimate difference? I think the difference was they tried a little bit in 23, right? They traded for Brandon Cooks. They traded for Stephon Gilmore, and they got the same result. And I think it's fair to deduce that they probably said, man, you know what? We had to get up at like 6 a.m., like 12 times this year, and we got the same result. So let's just sleep in till 8, and we're going to get the same result anyway. You know what I mean? And I think that somewhat, to some degree, explains the indifference of attitude relative to the 24th season, is that they know, shout out to my good friend Mike White on Twitter, not the quarterback, as he put it, to shout out a different owner, to your point, Jason. The Cowboys could go 0-17 for a decade and sell more crap than the Tennessee Titans and their frugal ownership. And they know that. They know that they can be a disaster and disorganized and petty and whatever, and that they are still the number one show in town.
Unless, of course, the Titans are actually selling Houston Oiler gear. Then their sales actually go up.
Easy.
RJ, and this is such an RJ Ochoa kind of tweet. I'm a little upset that you didn't make this, that Nick Harris, now with the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, did. Beyonce has scheduled a big announcement for January 14th. Nick Harris, obviously, that's when the window ends, says no coincidence, Beyonce is going to be the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. I really saw that, and I thought that had to be yours, and it's Nick Harris, not RJ Ochoa.
Well, I have a guess at what the announcement could be, which may not be shocking, and I can tie it back to Mike McCarthy if you'd like.
Of course.
Beyonce, if you recall, was the halftime performer a couple of weeks ago in a game where Pledge's Texans dropped a literal deuce on the scoreboard.
Well, that's all I had.
She was also the halftime performer at the Super Bowl 12 years ago. In case either of you don't recall, because Landman has occupied all that space in your big, smart brains, that was the last the Super Bowl was in New Orleans. And so I would imagine, and that was, if you also recall, the lights going out and all that jazz, I think this is a Super Bowl announcement. I think Beyonce is going to throw her hat in the ring and say she's coming back. The lights won't go out this time. And who knows, maybe Mike McCarthy will get up there with the other crew of Destiny's Child and be the fourth member for a rendition of Single Ladies.
I mean, anything is possible. If Jerry's going to lowball him, he's got to do what he can to supplement his income, and that would be a good way to do it. I do think there's a possibility there.
What's your favorite Beyonce song, Joe?
Cowboy Cooper. What's
RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com. Follow him on Twitter at RJ Ochoa.
It was targeting. ASU was robbed. I'm embarrassed that anybody can support such a fraudulent team of cheaters. Go Buckeyes.
Hook 'em. Hook 'em.
Depends on who I'm betting on, RJ. It's all I care about.
Like I told you, Arizona State would cover, Texas would win. And look,
I did win money on Arizona State. I'll tell you that.
You know, targeting, sure. You've watched the Arizona State kicker all year. You didn't have any confidence that he would make that. And 2, 4th and 13, make a stop. Don't let the guy get behind you.
I agree with you. I would also say, if we're throwing out advice, Sark, dude, chill out if your guy's going to go at the game-winning field goal. Just shut the hell up and don't even get anywhere. Don't get 30 feet within that kicker. That was the dumbest thing I've ever seen a coach do, and I've watched the Dallas Cowboys for my entire life.
That's a mic drop from RJ Ochoa. Have a great week, my friend. We'll talk to you soon.
See ya.
Love y'all.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Old Matt Roy, real quick. Man, he's a fast tweeter or texter guy. RJ Ochoa is absolutely correct. ASU was robbed.
Wow.
I think everybody that went to Arizona State feels that way.
Well, sure.
They weren't.
They weren't.
I mean, you could argue calls left and right in the game. 4th and 13, make a stop.
They won me money. I'm happy with Arizona State and where they're at right now.
Matt Roy says, hope UT gets destroyed.
Wow. It's not just Aggies.
No. Everybody hates the Longhorns.
Wow.
Unless you're hating on Notre Dame or you're hating on Ohio State. That's what why this Final Four is so great. Let's talk about it. Coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star Plus coming up in about 20 minutes. Commissioner Tommy Calvert will join us to give us the latest on that new Spurs arena proposal and the lack of information that apparently the Commissioner's Court is lacking. We'll get into that coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. If you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, and you need your logo on any kind of gear, get into Sammy's Embroidery and Printing down on San Pedro, especially if you need cold weather gear. Sam has everything you need, and again, it's cold this week. You know you're going to have another week or two where it gets a lot colder. So if you need your logo on a jacket, a half zip, a hoodie, a beanie, whatever it is, Sam will get you taken care of. He has over 25,000 caps on display in his showroom and more than 75 color combinations. So if you need hats, go see Sam. He's got all the popular cap brands like Katie Caps, Richardson 112 style trucker caps, Nike Cap America, to name a few. If you need t-shirts, screen printed, Sam's got you covered. Over 700 uniform lines to choose from. Sammy's Embroidery and Printing. Nobody has better prices. Sam has all the big name brands. When you think about the big name brands, it's North Face, Eddie Bauer, Under Armour, Nike, Travis Matthew, Port Authority, to name a few. Call 210-824-3900, 824-3900, or go by that massive showroom down on San Pedro, a mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's, or check the website samsembroidery.com for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
Taking you home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6, KTFM Floresville, and everywhere at sasportstar.com.
Let me ask you a question. Is your roof ready for anything? Well, Stevens Roofing, a locally owned company, has been serving our community for decades. Whether it's a commercial project or residential, or repairing your old roof, or maybe installing a new one, they've got you covered. And now Stevens offers solar. Stevens Solar Solutions can save you money and energy. Stevens Roofing, quality craftsmanship, solar solutions, and local expertise under one roof. Call 210-785-0994 or go to stevensroofing.net.
Well, family, this new year is off to a great start. Everybody, how are those New Year's resolutions?
Dear, my resolution is to cut my damaged hair and just start over.
Dad, my resolution is to take better care of my skin. It's so dry. Ew.
Pops, my New Year's resolution is to work out at the gym. Go up and drink a gallon of bottled water every day.
My resolution is to take up skydiving.
Mom, you're 96.
Don't you make me get it.
Family, my resolution is to replace all our appliances that have been destroyed over the years by hard water.
Sounds like your family needs to start the new year off with installing
installing a Connecticut water system and get a head start on all those resolutions.
This guy's making sense.
For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station at your kitchen sink. $400 off with trade-in and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Don't wait. Offer ends soon. Call Connecticut of San Antonio and the Hill Country.
The last water softener you'll ever own. ConnecticutSA.com.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and switch to the expensive shampoo with amino acids. Sure, you don't know what those are or why you need them, but it sounds very impressive. And if you switch and save hundreds, you can massage it into your scalp every day. Now, if only you can get people to lean toward your head to smell those aminos. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For shampoo. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Spurs look to bounce back and snap a 2-game losing streak. They return to action tonight in Milwaukee against the Bucks. Jeremy Sohan out for the game. He's got back tightness. Tip-off on national television set for 8:30. And as those wildfires continue to devastate several areas across L.A., the NFL says it is monitoring that situation's potential impact on Monday night's wild card playoff game between the Vikings and the Rams.
SportsCenter brought to you by Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss. SynergenicsHealth.com.
Guess what day it is?
Joe Reinagle.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Mike. What day is it, Mike? Hump day.
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 Yeah.
Here we go.
I love that camel.
He's Toe Reinagle. I'm at Jason Minix, the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. First Wednesday of the year that we're actually working, and a couple of weeks off. Joe's a little rusty with that, and he asked early in the show.
That was awesome. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, well, that one was finally good. It's the fourth time you've done it.
5 o'clock hump is always good.
Yeah, exactly.
Hump day.
Yeah.
It's amazing as people get off work, certain things happen. I mean, that was your best one.
Yes.
Of the day. But you started the show with, should we continue this into the new year? So there's been a poll up on our YouTube channel. So you can go to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel and vote in the poll. Right now, right at 100 votes, 72% say yes, 28% say no.
I took a poll. So we'll leave that poll up till the end of the show. You got another hour. If you don't want to hear it anymore, you vote no. If you do, vote yes, and we'll do what the folks want.
And you can only vote once. It's like everywhere else, unless you have multiple accounts on YouTube.
Yeah.
Which I imagine some people do.
Absolutely.
It's way too damn complicated to have multiple accounts. Pledge, I'm seeing the 5 o'clock Sports Center developing story. Are they saying anything new about Mike McCarthy, or is it the same old stuff? I mean, Schefter's on there with breaking news. Then they put up a developing story deal. I haven't seen anything different, but could anything be different? Sounds like it's just the same old, but this is what Jerry Jones wants. He's led every show today, including the 5 o'clock, 6 Eastern Sports Center, with denying Mike McCarthy the ability to interview with the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything new. It's just that the Cowboys have denied the Bears' request. I guess Jerry's interested in bringing him back. We knew that already, too. So there's nothing new. Jerry said as much, right?
Well, and again, he wants to bring him back for a small fee, a smaller fee than what he was paying him. And this is so Jerry Jones, we want to be talked about at all levels. Now, the fact that he has denied Mike McCarthy permission to talk to the Chicago Bears, quite frankly, is comical and hypocritical, considering on Sunday when he was asked if other teams are interested in Mike McCarthy, are you going to let him go talk to him?
I would say go talk. I really would. Go talk.
So it sounds like you
I just let Zeke do that.
Gotcha.
I don't want anybody here. That's not healthy to have somebody around that wants to be someplace else. Really, it's not. And there's too many ways for everybody to go to be around where you don't want to be.
And again, we discussed this, and just because he went to talk to the Bears doesn't mean he doesn't want to be in Dallas. It's leverage for him, and I think it would have been that way. But look, I'm convinced the fact that they denied his request or the Bears' request, Mike McCarthy's coming back.
I think so, but I do think while it's a chicken bleep look for Jerry Jones to deny the request, and other teams supposedly are interested in Mike McCarthy as well. But you do have an exclusive negotiating window. So from a business side, if you're Jerry Jones, why would you let somebody else get in there and muddy the waters? Now, if he and Mike McCarthy can't come to an agreement by the 14th, you're moving on anyway. I think that would be pretty obvious. I mean, whatever, we know, and I say we know, those involved in the negotiations know what the details are of Mike McCarthy's contract that is expiring and what Mike McCarthy is asking for now. I would like to think he's not asking for a massive raise, considering 0 playoff success, 1 playoff win. Those 12-win regular seasons are nice, but you were brought in because you've got a Super Bowl on your resume. You were brought in for playoff success. This was supposed to be a Super Bowl or bust year, and you don't even make the damn playoffs. So I hope he's not asking for a raise. Jerry makes it sound like he's trying to get more of an incentive-laden deal. I don't know how much of a base salary cut Mike McCarthy is willing to take, but will he take incentives? The other question is it number of years. Mike McCarthy had a 5-year deal. Is he looking for another 5 years? Maybe Jerry is looking for 2 and an option or 3 and an option, a shorter commitment. Love you, but I ain't marrying you.
Well, that's exactly what it's got to be, Jason. But look, if you're Mike McCarthy, yeah, I mean, you're asking for the moon. And if Jerry doesn't give it to you, then you move on. I mean, why? I don't blame him.
Or you settle. I mean, I don't have a problem asking for the moon, but, you have your, it's like in real estate. I'm putting my house on the market for this, but I know I'll take an offer until this. This is my walkaway. I won't take that lowball offer.
If I'm Mike McCarthy, I'm making an offer, and I've got to have some control as to what's going on. I mean, you can't field a team like you fielded this year. You just can't. And is there anything the Cowboys can do? And what's their future like? I mean, is there anybody, including McCarthy? I know Jerry does. But is there anybody that thinks that the Cowboys are going to completely turn this thing around next year? I don't see any indication that that's going to happen, or that the Cowboys are going to spend any money or go over the cap. They're going to be a little bit behind the 8 ball unless they do some gymnastics with the salary cap. So, I mean, there's a lot of things for Mike McCarthy to look at. Now, look, if he wants to stay in Dallas, I'd want to get paid. Maybe that's what the holdup is, and you're right about Jerry not wanting to muddy the water with the Chicago Bears. Perhaps that's it. But if I'm Mike McCarthy, I'm asking for what I want, and if you don't end up getting that, I think Mike McCarthy's okay with testing the waters elsewhere.
Going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. Also going to be interesting to see how Project Marvel plays out. The new Spurs arena seemingly has hit a major speed bump. Let's talk about it with County Commissioner Tommy Calvert. He joins us next here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. It's that weird kind of time where some days you got your AC on, and days like today and tomorrow and Friday you're going to have your heater on. Maybe with this cold weather you could end up with some plumbing issues if you have pipes freeze. If any of these kind of things happen, Quarterman Plumbing, Heating, and AC, They are experts at worst-case scenarios. Big job, small job, residential or commercial. Quarter Moon has all the equipment needed for any job. No commission. Sales reps, they'll provide estimates and second opinions, and they have a great experienced staff that has earned an A-plus ranking with the Better Business Bureau. And at Quarter Moon, they are green certified. 210-651-5899 is the phone number. 651-5899 or online at quartermoonplumbing.com.
It's showtime. Let's do it. It's fun time. Here we go.
South Texas home of the 12-team college football playoff is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. All of the matchups are brought to you by Ewald Kubota, the Break Room Bar, and Smoky Mo's Barbecue. Hear every game on South Texas' first and only FM sports station. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hi, I'm Manny Jr. from Rock's Discount Vitamins. If you're looking to build muscle, strength, and boost athletic performance, check out our huge selection of anabolic pro hormones. These powerful supplements provide your body with essential nutrients for muscle growth, faster recovery, fat loss, and even improved bone health and libido. Visit one of our 12 San Antonio locations or go online at rocksdiscountvitamins.com to learn more. That's rocksdiscountvitamins.com. We thank God and you for your continued support. rocksdiscountvitamins.com.
So this new dose is... nope, that's not it. The price is nowhere to be found.
Mr. Green? Hi, it's all good. We've got this.
This is not just help from a Walgreens pharmacist.
Oh, new prescriptions. Cool. Let me check to see if these are the lowest cost options covered by your Medicare plan.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
This is someone supporting you every step of the way. Chat with a pharmacist today to find help saving. This is the human kind of help. Walgreens.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Were you uninvited to game night? Do you play board games with the ferocious intensity of an iron-fisted oligarch? Have friends left game night asking, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm.
In Texas, your spouse can claim alimony after just 10 years of marriage. Do you know your countdown? I guarantee she does. I'm Gary Barton, owner of Barton & Associates, attorneys at law. If you're considering divorce, it's absolutely crucial to understand your options right now. Don't let alimony catch you off guard. Protect what you've built and secure your hard-earned assets. Visit TexasDivorce.com. At Barton & Associates, we focus on navigating the complexities of divorce law to ensure you're not left vulnerable. Divorce is tough, but you have a choice. Take control of the process or allow your spouse to dictate the terms. If you're serious about safeguarding what you have built and your financial future, Barton & Associates is the team for you. We'll act swiftly and decisively, ensuring that you're not taken advantage of. Call Barton & Associates at 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-MILLION. Or visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Along with Joe Reinagel, I'm Jason Minix. You know, a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a little longer now, it feels like, Spurs announced Project Marvel, all these cool drawings, and man, it looked like we're full speed ahead, right? Yesterday, after the Commissioner's Court meeting, there's a headline in the Express News that says Bexar County won't ask voters to fund new Spurs arena without more details and an East Side plan. And you read this article by Brook Park, and you go, man, even the county commissioners and the county judge don't have all the answers. It's one thing if you and I don't, but you would think those guys would. Let's talk about it with Precinct 4 County Commissioner Tommy Calvert joining us now on the Buyers Barricades guest line. And Tommy, appreciate you jumping on. One of the things that I'm surprised is you guys seemingly in the commissioner's court don't have a lot of detail, yet they want you guys to put this on a ballot.
Yeah, well, it's great to be back on, Jason and Joe. First of all, we wouldn't consider ourselves Project Marvel. Project Marvel is really a City of San Antonio initiative, which includes expansion of their convention center, a hotel, and some other stuff they want to do. I've never been briefed on it, and I don't know how many other commissioners have been. It's within the city's purview. Our role is really over the arena, which seems to fit into this $4 billion thing. So, yeah, we really didn't have any cost estimates. We didn't have a community agreement in the past. You may remember the community negotiated things like free days for community organizations. There'll be opportunities for small businesses, employment of people around the arena, things like that are traditionally negotiated before there is anything brought to the voters, so the voters can consider it. In addition, we have first and foremost to make sure that the Frostbank Center that we have today doesn't become like the Astrodome, just a dead carcass sitting there unused for a long time. So if we continue to use it as an event venue for concerts or other sporting games, you know, it's going to need new HVAC systems soon. That might cost, $40 million. Or if we have to figure out that we've got to blow the thing up and start over in 20 years, we need to set aside money for the voter with the voter funds as well. So there was too much on the table to do it in. It may have been a lot in the headlines in the press, but it literally got to our door right before Christmas.
Wow. Well, Commissioner, my question is, which I have a ton of them, but just because I'm not sure how this works, and maybe you can help explain it. Just turning to the arena, why does the city need the county for tax revenue? Is that how that works? That the county would be responsible for raising that money for an arena?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the county paid for the current Frostbank Center with a portion of a hotel tax for visitors and a rental car tax. In the case of Project Marvel at the city, okay, they're getting, I think, the 3.25% of the sales tax from the state of Texas for projects within a 3-mile radius of Hemisphere Park, which would include the Frostbank Center and Coliseum grounds today, and could be used to help us with making sure we don't have an eyesore over there. So the city, I believe, I'm not at the city, but I believe what they are planning to do is to use that 3.25% sales tax for the arena, for the expansion of the convention center, maybe the hotel that they want to do, and the other things about Project Marvel. So there isn't enough money to build an arena, and that's where the county comes in. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes, and again, I mean, kind of dumb it down for us.
Thank you.
Because like they were in the Alamo Dome, that's city. Now they're at the Frostbank Center, that's county. Now it seems like they're going back to the city, and
yeah, it started at Hemisphere Park, right? They started there.
Yep, and so as I learned things, Texas local government, according to the Express News, that code defines a venue as an arena, blah blah blah, and that's where the county's part comes in to kick things in. Am I reading that right?
Yes. There are things that are defined as a venue. Now, potentially, the deal of Willow Springs Golf Course, which is a golf course I really like. It's nice and flat. I like the way I can, see all my greens and everything. But we may end up getting that from the city of San Antonio. And that would be good, because we could create a green connection, just like they did over at Hardburger Park, across Frostbank Parkway, and connect from the Redberry Mansion over to the Coliseum, 400 acres of land. And my vision might include, something in higher education, along with more event space, maybe even a little zoo for baby animals and things that you could do year-round, maybe more rodeo activity, certainly a lot more restaurants, where you could create a real synergy of activity that isn't just dependent upon events a couple, days of the year.
Well, which begs the question about the current Frostbank Center and what you envision that facility to be? I would assume, just right off the bat, that concerts would be an attractive destination for that building. Sports team, I just don't know what would fill that thing year round.
Well, we're having a town hall meeting, 2 of them actually, as a strategic plan, and we invite you and every other smart San Antonio and Bexar County resident who wants to come on January 25th at the Freeman Coliseum, and it'll be at 10 o'clock. It'll also be the following Saturday, February 1st, to talk about what they want. I'm really agnostic. I have to listen to my constituents about what they want. I might have my ideas, but I've really got to hear out what they want. Now, let me just kind of break something down that has to be in the conversation. Look, you've got the billionaire leadership of town getting 2 new arenas. You've got the baseball thing, and you've got the potential for a Hemisphere Park thing. So, they're going to be wanting to compete for concerts too. So we have to have a very honest conversation about are the Spurs entertainment really going to allow the county to compete for concerts? Are we going to be in a war with each other over, these kinds of events? In which case, it may make sense to kind of blow up the Frostbank Center. And I've got 180 acres of county land there. I can build parking garages with housing on top, restaurant, retail, amphitheater. I can build more custom space for the rodeo. We could do some other things with this land. We just need to shoot straight with each other and figure out, are we going to be, cutting each other for funds because we really have a business venture going forward? I mean, there's a lot to sort out.
Well, there really is. As we visit with Precinct 4 County Commissioner Tommy Calvert here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Tommy, as a concert goer, I always get a little pissed when I see shows that go to Houston, Austin, Dallas, and they don't come to San Antonio. And I know part of that is the arena has to have so many dates blocked off because of Spurs games. And with the hockey team and the WNBA team leaving, that has brought a lot more concerts to San Antonio. I also know that Freeman probably has a lot more events in it than most people realize. So I do think that there would be a lot of use for Frostbank Center when it comes to those concerts. Will you compete with the new Wemby Center or whatever we're going to call it? Sure, but I like that idea. But what I'm also hearing is, it's big business competition for this between the city and the county on what is going into these venues. Am I reading that correctly?
Some of it you're not. Let me. My dad was in the concert business. He was one of the biggest concert promoters and producers in town. So I grew up around the business. In the business, San Antonio is known as a walk-up town. And what that means is that people, because they're poor and working class predominantly, make a decision that day as to whether they can pay for a ticket. Now, with the kind of costs for renting out the Frostbank Center, most of the producers of concerts will bypass San Antonio, not because of the days. They're bypassing it because they can't take the risk of putting 50% down for the artists, the venue, the security, the personnel, the sound and production, and hope that they can come and win on the day of with their profit. That's why concerts. So we've got to focus on increasing the disposable income. It's the same thing at the airport. People complain about, why don't we have flights, direct flights? Well, we don't have the disposable income for people buying flights. So I just want to point, that's really the foundational reason. And so part of the town hall discussion is, what might we use our resources on, even other than the arena? Because if we need to get some of our key, it'll actually improve our entertainment, like our economic development. We got 25% of our population that reads at a 5th grade level. Nobody talks about it. You can't read, you can't survive in the information technology economy. So we have a lot to talk about. I'm agnostic because I need to hear from the community. This is very, it's been very soon, this has been kind of popped on the commissioner's court agenda, even though it's been talked about in the press. And so we've got a lot of research to do.
Tommy, I'm just curious because obviously the Spurs want this thing on the ballot in May, which the way I understand it, according to this article, you guys have until February 14th to call for a May tax election. If they want this vote that soon, it seems to me it would be best for them to give you and Judge Sakai and anybody that needs it, all the information that they want and need. Why do you think that hasn't happened?
Well, there will be no vote in May based upon that. There's another timeline that's even sooner than February that they would have had to accomplish, and the court would have to call a special meeting. We're not calling a special meeting, so it will not be on the May ballot. As to why we haven't gotten the details, I think that's really a question for the Spurs. I have a lot of theories, but these are our partners, and I'm wanting to work with them if it's the will of the community. Ultimately, it will not be a decision of the Commissioner's Court whether they get an arena. It'll be in the hands of the people, and these are tough elections. I talked to Commissioner Atkinson. It was a tough election. We know what happened in Kansas City. I think Chicago had some similar failures. So, they really, it's in the best interest of the Spurs to begin to, talk with us about what are the community needs as part of this, and we got to sort this out because to pass this in the previous elections, there were, let's just be honest, there were goodies for every part of town. So, for example, the Northside Activity Center was funded, or for Northside ISD. Any ISD got the soccer fields. Mission County Park on the south side got some. There was a piece of the pie for everyone. The proposition the Spurs put forward was that they got 100% of the venue tax, which according to them could have been valued at $2.5 billion.
Interesting. Tommy Calvert, County Commissioner, joining us here on the Blitz. As you look to get more information from Spurs Sports and Entertainment on this, not just you personally, but within Commissioner's Court, what are the two biggest things you want to hear from the Spurs?
That they are working in tandem with us to put the resources together to transition the Frostbank Center, that there will be small business and real economic opportunities for hiring people on the construction in areas that are historically high unemployment, getting people in the skilled trades. I think it's very important that the public's number one desire, which is according to a poll, to know how much are they putting in. Are they putting in $50 million to buy the land of UTSA, the Institute of Texan Cultures building? Are they putting in more money on the construction? How much are they putting in, and how much does it really cost? And those are very important things we've got to hear.
And Tommy, it just and I'm curious, when this whole thing came out and we saw the drawings and everybody was ooh and ah, and it was great, and it is, if it comes to fruition. I said at that time, and I still say it now, that the Spurs should go out in a PR type campaign, educate the community on what they want to do. Do you think that would be beneficial not only to them, but for you as the commissioners and everybody else involved?
They'll have to do that. It'll be the biggest campaign probably that's been spent in Bexar County. But let's just level set here. One of the things that's, and I am a former investigative reporter, a member of the press. One of the things that I really cringe at when I hear the press talk about economic development around arena, there's 76 studies from the Brookings Institution to Stanford University that say these arenas don't create economic development. All you have to do is look at Wolf Stadium, the Alamo Dome, and the Frost Bank Center. I mean, it's evident. We have to create economic development as a community and as policy people, and that's why I'm talking about small business opportunities, hiring opportunities, and also activities that keep the dollar circulating in these communities year-round. So these are certainly going to need to be marketed, but I can tell you, having talked to the pollsters who did these elections in the past, even a championship run doesn't move the bar. What moved the bar for getting these things to win was benefits to the community. That's what people are looking for.
Tommy, without sounding like too much of a knucklehead question, but you bring up Wolf Stadium, you bring up the Alamo Dome, the Frost Bank Center. I remember when the Frost Bank Center was built, then the SBC Center, there was all the talk about the development that was going to come to that area. Why, in your mind, has none of that really happened?
Well, I actually, as I think 17 or 18-year-old young man, wrote a press release for my father's organization, the Neighborhood First Alliance, detailing the Brookings Institution which said that sports arenas don't create economic development. So what I said as a 17, 18, 19-year-old young man came to pass. It doesn't. The reason is that in the Spurs' defense, their job is to run a team and build the arena. The county's job is to create economic development. And so the county has to get serious, and the city, about what are we going to do to have economic gardening, economic development in the area. So it hasn't been enough of a priority. Now, the number one reason I think it hasn't happened are those cones. You know, they cone you in and out of the arena like you're at a hazmat event.
Yeah.
There is no arena. I study arenas as part of my job as commissioner. I've been to Victory Park in Dallas. I've been to LA Live in Los Angeles. They don't have a single cone. You know, people can't get, the Iceman told me. He said, Tommy, nobody, you remember when the Iceman had his place at Willow Springs Golf Club?
Yeah.
He said, Tommy, nobody could get to me because of those cones. And I have small business people at Coca-Cola at the new Andy development, which I helped get done. They said people can't get to our events. We actually live in these facilities, and we're having mixers, and we're having restaurant stuff, and we're having different things, and people can't get to the small businesses that are at the Andy. We have to. That's an embargo. That's what I said. I said, put out a video. I said, for 23 years, everybody on the east side knows we've been embargoed from economic opportunity. Okay, it's those cones, and there is no arena in the United States, none, that does what we do. We need to take those cones and let people circulate in the east side. I mean, my poor friend at Ball Hogs Barbecue, he was throwing the cones the people had put in his driveway. And I said, that's terrible. You're trying to get people to have barbecue sandwiches and brisket and everything, and you can't even get there, and you're right next door. And I said, hell, next time you do it, I'll throw the cones with you. It's not right. I've been trying to get those cones removed for 10 years. We got to get those cones removed, and that will allow people to go and frequent the restaurants in the area.
Yeah, it's a good point, because even, the way you get directed out of there, it might be 3 different directions from the way you're actually trying to get to your house. They are paying it. Traffic control in this city and on events suck. It does. I think we all know that, right?
Yes, we do.
We all know that. Tommy, again, appreciate the knowledge and insight. I am surprised that even in your position, or Judge Sakai, based on the article, that you guys don't know how much the Spurs are still putting in and how much this whole thing is really going to cost. That surprises me at this point, that guys that should be in the know like you aren't. We think for us not to know, but for you not to know, that's surprising.
Well, I went ahead and videoed the entire press conference so that people could hear our responses to all the press questions. You can see it on the social media. You might put it up too. Just because I think it needs to be more transparent. People are really upset when they feel like these things are done behind closed doors. And I've said we need to turn a page on that. If you're going to get community support for an arena vote, you better listen to them. You better let them know what's going on. Bring them in early, and that way you won't get accused of backroom deals. We want to be partners with the Spurs, and so we're going to turn the chapter, and that's why we're doing our 2 town halls, January 25th and February 1st. It's your money. You're the one who's going to vote on it. So let's talk about it. You'll have brilliant ideas about things we can put into the new arena and where they have been at the Frost Bank Center. We'll figure it out together.
Appreciate it. Precinct 4 County Commissioner Tommy Calvert, appreciate the knowledge and insight, my friend. We'll catch up soon. I'm sure we'll have more discussions on this as the ball continues to roll down the court.
Hey, and if McCarthy doesn't want that job in Dallas, I'll put up for that. We'll see what we can do.
I mean, between me, you, and Joe, we can't be any worse.
Exactly right.
That's right.
Appreciate you, Tommy.
Take care, guys.
Thanks,
Good
Tommy.
stuff. Tommy Calvert on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond, online at buyersbarricades.com. We heard from Tommy Calvert just now. Tomorrow, 2:35 on the Blitz, Judge Peter Sakai will join us.
Well, we hear also there will not be a vote in May. Not going to happen.
Not going to happen, according to Tommy Calvert. No matter what you're reading, Tommy Calvert says there will not be a vote in May. We'll talk more about this, plus the Spurs-Bucks game. That is tonight, coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. And you think about tonight's NBA slate, Thunder and Cavs. Then you got the Spurs and Bucks. You want to have a lot more fun watching that game because you can win some money. Make sure you download the Underdog Fantasy app and start playing the Pick'em game, where all you have to do is pick higher or lower on player stats. They got Wemby right now higher than 26.5. The Freak higher than 30.5. They got Chris Paul assists right now 9.5. And Chris Paul points at 9.5. Would you go higher? Would you go lower? You can mix and match between all the different games, or just stay in the Spurs-Bucks game. Playoffs, whether it's college games on Thursday and Friday or the NFL this weekend. The Pick'em game is so much fun to play, and you could win up to 1,000 times your money. You can create entries with all football picks, mix and match across with all your favorite sports. It's just fun, and Underdog is the only pick'em platform that puts the power to cash out in your hands. Keep riding with what you've won, or you can hit the Win Now button and cash out whenever you want. And they even have that second chance opportunity. They call it Underdog Rescues. If you have a player that gets hurt early in a game, causes you to lose, you'll get your money back plus receive a promo. Underdog is the best place to play Pick'em. Download the app, sign up with promo code STAR, deposit now to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. Again, promo code STAR. Must be over 18, present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Again, promo code STAR at Underdog Fantasy.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Thursday on the Morning Huddle. Happy Small Friday. We get to start previewing college football playoffs. They get started tonight with Penn State Notre Dame.
Did the Spurs take care of business against the Freak? We'll undress it all and get you started. Get here early. It starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
Just a little heads up before something bad happens.
Move your coffee cup away from your computer.
Oh, no. So you can have more control.
Stop. You're texting your boss by mistake.
Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Warning. The cap is loose on that ketchup.
Ugh. Don't wait. You have the power to change the outcome. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Transform your water with Kinetico. For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station, $400 off with trade-in, and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Don't wait. Offer ends soon.
Call 656-PURE Kinetico.
Hello. My name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio, and since 1994, I've been representing people and families seriously injured by negligent drivers. Recently, we've all seen advertisements from attorneys here in San Antonio saying their firm does not get paid an attorney fee unless there's a recovery. And maybe you've heard, we don't get paid unless you get paid, or words to that effect. Well, that is what I've been doing for more than 30 years. I honestly did not know that there were attorneys in San Antonio that would represent an injured client and charge a fee if there was no recovery. You see, I practice law with basic principles, one of which is you never need an excuse to do the right thing. If you or a family member has been injured in a vehicle collision, including a commercial or business vehicle, an 18-wheeler, call me. The phone call and consultation is free. If you hire me, I will not get a fee unless there is a recovery. And this has been true for me and my firm for more than 30 years. My number, 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or check out my website, alawyerforus.com.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Let me ask you a question. Is your roof ready for anything? Well, Stevens Roofing, a locally owned company, has been serving our community for decades. Whether it's a commercial project or residential, or repairing your old roof, or maybe installing a new one, they've got you covered. And now Stevens offers solar. Stevens Solar Solutions can save you money and energy. Stevens Roofing, quality craftsmanship, solar solutions, and local expertise under one roof. Call 210-785-0994 or go to stevensroofing.net.
Find your purpose. Find your why. At the Y, you'll find more than just a place to work out. With opportunities to connect with neighbors and give back to your community, you'll also discover a greater sense of purpose. Join the Y January 6th through the 11th for Wellness Week at any Greater San Antonio YMCA location. Learn more at ymcasatx.org.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. On Twitter, Instagram, at Joe Reinagel 210. You can tweet at me, Instagram, at Jason Minix, the station, at SA Sports Star.
Interesting conversation with County Commissioner Tommy Colvert. Interesting stuff. I learned a lot.
I did.
I hope y'all did too.
And that's why we that's why we do it. And obviously, looking at some of the comments on our YouTube channel, some are for, some are against, some liked what he said, some didn't, and that's why those discussions have to happen. Although I do think he hit the nail on the head. Get rid of those damn cones, leaving anything. It's such a, I mean, and it's inconsistent. Sometimes you go left, sometimes you go right, and then you got to figure out best way to get home.
Well, you're right. Coming out of an event, look, we used to get to events so early it didn't matter, right?
Yeah.
Because there's no traffic. And sometimes the cones would be up, sometimes they wouldn't. But coming out of the event, that's when it's a real pain. Man, because you're right. You don't know which direction you're going to go and how you're going to get there. So it'd be interesting. But see, I just that alone, I learned something because I guess I haven't paid enough attention to know that there aren't cones anywhere else.
Well.
And I can't really recall.
Again, I think part of it, I go to a lot of concerts all over the country, partly because a lot of them don't come here. Tommy and I can disagree on why, and I think there's some truth into both. I know enough people that worked in venues and, you know, they got to block out a gazillion dates for all the different things. I think Tommy is right. With the walk-up town, do you get on there with no guarantees? I just have a hard time believing that in today's world, everywhere you go, shows aren't full. Every show I go to at the Frost Bank Center is full.
Me too. I mean, every one that I've been to, and recently, Jelly Roll we went to.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much everywhere. I think most people have a craving for live music of whatever genre you like.
Well, and I do think there is a lot of, with what he was saying, there is a lot of truth to that. This is a bit of a walk-up town. But for bigger shows, man, they sell out in a hurry.
Yeah.
They sell out in a hurry. So I do think there's some things there. I think if there is an empty Frost Bank Center, it becomes a little bit more competitive. But I do think there's some competition between the city-owned Wemby Center, or whatever it's going to be called, and the current Frost Bank Center. And I could also hear some of that in what Tommy was saying, because he's coming from the eyes of Bexar County, and if we talk to somebody with the city, they're going to be coming at it from the eyes of the city, and let's face it, they're all venues trying to make money, and at that point, it becomes business. And are you going to compete is the county, the Frost Bank Center, the current Frost Bank Center, going to get shut out of events because they're going to the new Wemby Center? And I think if you're a county commissioner, you have to look at that as a real concern.
Well, I liked his idea of maybe you tear that place down and you make the east side like Southtown. Maybe develop it into something like that with restaurants and bars and make an area like that, especially if they get Willow Springs, which he talked about. And not that I want to see a golf course go away, but I mean, if you could put some sort of an entertainment district out there, I think it'd be beneficial.
It's been over 20 years. Why hasn't that been done yet?
Well,
I mean,
that's a great question.
I mean, and it's not just because of cones, right? I mean, if something was out there, they would cone you right into that.
Yeah.
I just, it's been 20 years. Everything you talk sounds great. That couldn't have been done 10 years ago. That couldn't be done now. I mean, there is land over there. There are things over there, and we see enough. You start building this, then all of a sudden something else disappears, and there's something new there. That's the way the world works.
What he's saying is some of those cones are blocking entrances to businesses during that time, and that's a problem. And if you're going to build a business or have one,
sure,
you're going to want it open and available during events out there. But if it's coned off and you can't get in, then that's a problem.
All right. Trying to think. I went to a Spurs game, the Portland game, whatever that was during the holidays.
Yeah.
And, of course, when you leave out of there all the cones, I don't know what businesses are over there that are open. I know that barbecue spot that he mentioned, but I don't know that it's open after the game. But the way I was told to leave, I wouldn't have gone by it anyway. So I just look at that and I think, all right, yeah, he is right, but is he? What businesses are over there that allow you to do that? Same thing, at the Alamo Dome. Alamo Dome, if you're walking into downtown, you got that bar Alibis that's the closest you could walk to.
Yep.
Outside of that, you're walking down to the Riverwalk.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. it can be a walk. I don't know. I love the idea of what they're talking about with Project Marvel. I hope it gets done and voted for. But again, the Spurs have to participate in this, and they can't just assume that everybody is on board just because it's the Spurs. And I mean, when the Kansas City Chiefs can't get a new arena done, then that it's a problem everywhere. And so the Spurs have got to play ball. They've got to come out and let people know what they're going to do, what kind of skin they're going to have in the game, and what they're going to ask for. And then you let people decide. And I think the more out front and open you are, the better your chances of getting an arena and a Project Marvel done are.
Playing devil's advocate, because you're right. In Kansas City, on the Missouri side, they put up something to get a new football and baseball stadium, and it got voted down. And they tried to rush it. It wasn't a well put together plan. From everything that I've read, and from my buddy that lives in Kansas City, and some radio friends, and remember we were talking about it in Vegas when we were out there at Circa Las Vegas with a couple of those guys. But also there was a different idea floated on the Kansas side, KCK, or vice versa, right? And the idea of that failed. All right, can everybody involved here learn from those mistakes? At the same time, you look at a place like Oakland. They didn't build a new baseball arena. They lost their team to Las Vegas. They didn't build a new basketball arena. Golden State moved into San Francisco because San Francisco was willing to pay for it. And my fear, which should be everybody's fear, if we don't do this. Now, we can't just do what the Spurs want. That is not what I'm saying. But San Antonio is used to being used as the carrot. Well, if you don't build it, remember the Miami Marlins, we'll just move to San Antonio. But the Spurs, who've threatened to leave before, if we don't build them a new arena, they're going to Vegas. They're going somewhere. That's the big fear, and the Spurs know that.
Well, sure, but I mean at the same time, you can't just assume that, hey, we want to build this. It's $4 billion. Vote for a tax. And let's go.
No, and I'm with you there. I am surprised. I'm not surprised that you and I don't know how much the Spurs behind closed doors and all those meetings where they were signing all those non-disclosure agreements that we don't know how much they're going to put in. I am stunned that our county judge and our county commissioners don't have that information. I mean, and I know listening to Tommy, it's been more of a city thing. All right, cool. But the county leaders are involved. And how they don't have those answers at this point. And again, you read the Express News, they've got till February 14th to get it on a May ballot. Tommy Calvert just told us it will not be on the May ballot.
Which is obviously big news. I mean, that changed from one day to the next. So, look, I'm all for it. I want the Spurs to be here. I want a new arena. I love the idea of Project Marvel. I'm all for it. But I know there are going to be a lot of people in this town that aren't. Because I've been here long enough, you've been here long enough to know that there are people that aren't going to want any kind of tax, whether they're paying for it or not, to build anything. But it would add to the city, obviously, and I'm going to be a big proponent for it, but I want the Spurs to help out. They've got to put something out on the table and educate people about why this is important, how they're going to participate, and get it out in the open. Again, Tommy said it direct. Nobody likes behind closed doors stuff. And if people think that you're hiding something from them, they're going to be more intent on voting against it. You got to get it out in the open, and that's the only way you're going to get the support of the majority of the people.
And behind closed doors is the way the Spurs like to do it.
They do.
This is going to be fascinating. This is going to be fascinating. And I'll blame myself for just buying in. I saw all those pictures, all this Project Marvel, and I basically thought, man, we heard about stuff, closed door meetings, NDAs, nobody's talking. Once they made the announcement, I figured all the I's were dotted and the T's were crossed. We're ready to go. Let's vote. Let's get this going because we've got to get this done before Wemby's rookie deal is up because while the Wemby Center won't be finished yet, there better be progress on a new building when it's time for that guy to decide if he's going to stay in San Antonio. That's the urgency. While there's 7 years left on that lease, the urgency is Wemby's rookie contract.
Well, that and putting a winning team on the floor, that would help too. And not waiting, and maybe we ought to skip a step or two along the way and get some help in here and make sure that this team is winning basketball games, making it to the playoffs, and becoming successful. That is just as important as any new building at this point in time, in my opinion. So let's get that done and go from there.
Absolutely. Man, Spurs and Bucks tonight. Should be fun.
Yeah.
That's game night San Antonio.
Play the fourth quarter, guys, will you?
Yeah, exactly. Well, play the first three so you got something to play for.
Well, they're good at that.
In the fourth quarter.
It's that fourth quarter that's the problem.
Absolutely. And go somewhere, watch the game, continue this debate over like a good pizza or something.
Absolutely. How does this sound to you? A pepperoni, grilled chicken, and bacon pizza. That sounds absolutely delicious. And it is available to you at Round Table Pizza right now, only for a limited time, though. In fact, you can enjoy a large for only $19.99 at participating locations. And you can pair your pizza with the irresistible shareables like crispy mozzarella sticks. How about some jalapeno poppers or golden potato wedges? Goes perfect with any pizza. In fact, it is the perfect bite to complete your meal. Look, if you want to find the nearest location to Round Table Pizza, it is a unique pizza. They do it very different than your average pizza place. I'm going to tell you, you like toppings, they're all over the place, all the way to the edge, golden brown crust. It is absolutely delicious. Round Table Pizza. You want to find the nearest location or you want to order a pizza for pickup or delivery, just go to roundtablepizza.com. That's roundtablepizza.com.